Yeah, 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 yeah. We got them screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We got them screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, D-Lo. We your number one spot. We your number one spot for some sports, huh? Got the city going crazy when we work, huh? We top two, but we ain't two, we in first, huh? And when you need the real, we is who you search, huh? D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We your number one spot.
Come on, man. Shout out. Hey. Shout out to the insiders. Let's go. Come on, man. Where you at?
Indeed.
James Ham, Kyle Matson. Let's go. We in here, baby. Welcome to the Wednesday, September 6th edition of D-Lo and KC. I'm Damian Barling.
The ultimate needle mover in God mode himself.
He's Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge me.
And we are so happy that you are here with us. We're so happy that you make ESPN 1320 a part of your day. Shout out to everybody who tapped into the insiders. Shout out to everybody who knows that your Chatty House now opens at 10. We got new operating hours over here. Chatty House opens up every day at 10 a.m. with James and Kyle. And man, they're off to a great start with the insiders. Can't
Great
wait
talk
for
today.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything focused, rightfully so, on Nick Bosa. Obviously, we'll talk a lot about that. I can't wait for those guys to hit the air on like a day where Kings training camp is jumping off, and you got 49ers football going on. You got Kyle Matson and the 49ers. You got James Ham and the Sacramento Kings. Come on, man. We got Scott Gobranson talking about the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's gonna be one of those you know what I like to call them, one of those power weekends. One of the power Sundays when the Kings and Niners play.
Yeah, that happened a lot last year.
It did.
There were going to be some people pissed off about that this season, but that ain't our problem now, is it? No, it's not. That ain't our bad. Hey.
Oh.
Well, it happened.
Hey, shout out Q.
Hey, Q. Q fell off the face of the earth.
He did. I see him pop up every now and then. I see him pop up every now and then.
Trista just returned to social media yesterday. Trista going to join us, I think, Friday, by the way.
Okay.
Trista, she was like, I can't miss another week, but she couldn't do yesterday, so I think she's going to be with us on Friday. Well, let's pick up where the fellas left off.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I don't know if.
Good catch. I don't know.
I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
I don't know, because I'll put it to you like this. There's a part of me that's starting to feel some type of way.
Okay. About who?
About Nicholas Bosa.
Okay. Is his name Nicholas?
Not sure.
Okay. It's fine. That's fine. It works. It works. Explain Jerry Jones Caraway.
Well, I mean,
no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I just meant, it's much like you to side with the owners.
It is not like me to side with
Nicholas John Bosa.
Nicholas John. Much like when I was upset with Canelo because he wasn't fighting certain people. I said, I'm not going to call him Canelo until he fights who he needs to be fighting.
Okay.
I'm calling him by his government. Okay. Saul.
Oh, okay.
I think until Nicholas signs on the dotted line, that's what he's going to be. He ain't going to be Nick.
I think he should be Nicholas John.
Nicholas John.
I'm with that.
There it is.
I'm with that.
So, look, man.
It's not the most imposing name in the world, but
his voice isn't very imposing either.
Well, neither was Mike Tyson's, but here we are.
He's that dude. He's that dude.
Here we are.
No, man, look, I understand, get your money. I understand, especially in the NFL. Get your money. I'm all for that, man. Especially against NFL owners.
Mm-hmm.
Get your money. I'm not tripping off that, so to speak. I understand that. But if the reports are true, if the reports are accurate, that they're willing to give him $30+ million a year, and that's not good enough. And I know there's a lot of speculation. Nobody said anything Maybe I'm speculating myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that's going to satisfy Nicholas John
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is if he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the game.
It's all the rumors.
If all this is true, I'm starting to be like, come on, man. Come on. They're going to make you 30 plus million a year. You're going to be by far and away the highest paid player in your position group.
So,
and there's really only one guy that you're not above.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy is somebody that a lot of people say is one of the 3 best players to ever play the game. Come on, man. They're not doing you wrong, Nicholas John. They're not doing you dirty.
I got you.
And I'm like I said, I'm not there yet because I'm usually just pro player, man. Get your money.
No, there's a lot of mounting evidence.
I'm pro player like
there's
the jacket.
There's a lot of mounting evidence.
Hey, don't do that.
No,
both of y'all don't do that.
No,
I'm pro player like the jacket. Don't play with me. I'm pro player like the jacket.
Okay, I'm just saying if we.
But do you hear me right now?
No,
do you feel me?
I hear you. I got you. But let's dive past the rumor and innuendo here a little bit.
Okay.
We're dumbing this down, and it's probably not an accident that the Aaron Donald thing is out there. I think there's multiple things to talk about. We could do this from the 49er perspective, but then I want to get into the contract a little bit deeper. I was talking about this with Jesse before the show started. How did we get here? And I could look at this either from a 49er side or a Nicholas John side and ask both of your camps the same thing. How did we get here? Because we've known for a year and a half that Nick Bosa's deal is coming up, and you're going to have to pay Nick Bosa. We have known when Fred Warner signed, doesn't affect Nick Bosa. Don't worry. Guarantees drop down in this year. Salary hit is this year. Dead money's this year. Oh, it's fine. When they signed player after player after player, it all went back to what does this mean for Nick Bosa? And ultimately the answer every single time was nothing. How did we get to this point where John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, Jed York, and their contingent did sit down and say, hey, what if he really pushes for that? And we'll play, the Price is Right game where you only go up $1. 31.7. How was there not a plan for this? Unless the plan was, we can't do that. We can absolutely not do that. Now, what was the plan? Because it feels like we know what the plan was for the Nicholas John Bosa side. We're getting that Aaron Donald contract. We're getting that distinction. And the talk of him being the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, that ends now. And we are going to get that. If we have to push them to the brink of the season, we're going to do that. Practice started today for Sunday. No matter what happens over the course of the next 24, 48, or 72 hours, I don't think Nick Bosa is playing on Sunday. And how these two groups, how we've talked about this for the 3-year existence of D'Lo and KC, and these two groups weren't prepared for this moment. I don't understand. Unless both of them were adamant in their stances and unwilling to budge. In that case, they're both stupid. Because if we are talking about these minimal amount of dollars, if it's 30 and I'm Nick Bosa's agent, it can be 31.7. If I'm the San Francisco 49ers and I'm talking to Nick Bosa's agent, you are now comfortably the highest paid player at your position. You're going to top TJ Watt by $2+ million. That does not happen very often in position groups. You're getting a comfortable bump at that position. How these two have gotten so steadfast to where they're now willing to risk games. And the 49ers are willing to put at risk their ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. We'll talk more about that, by the way, coming up here in just a few minutes, is beyond me. The other thing that I think is really, really important is we have focused on this average annual value a lot, that 31.7 to top Aaron Donald. There's a variety of other things that could come into play. Total guarantee at signing, an injury guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
There's a oh man, who was it? I had it in yesterday's notes. One of the writers, I can't remember who it was. I can dig it up during the commercial break, but it's in our notes from yesterday. In Arizona, there's a rumor that the Cardinals believe they have incentive. There's a belief that the Cardinals have incentive to not play Kyler Murray because of the injury guarantee. If they put Kyler Murray out there and he gets injured, they got to pay him next year. Well, they might not want to pay him next year.
Mm-hmm.
We could be looking at situations like that with Nick Bosa. Again, it's really, really important when we talk about these holdouts, when we talk about these deals, when we talk about the NFL. This isn't James Harden just passing on money. Mm-hmm. This isn't Giannis Antetokounmpo not willing to sign an extension that's good for 5 years and $600 million or whatever the number is. Mm-hmm. That's not what this is. This is weeding through the wording, the phrasing. This is weeding through the moment money becomes guaranteed. There's a lot to weed through this, and there's something somewhere that someone, most likely on the Nick Bosa side, is uncomfortable with.
And it's a great point. And I know it's fashionable right now to feel like it's on the ownership. Right. I think our guy Brian West was in here earlier in the chat, and he said, just give him what he wants. This is killing me. That's what he says in the chatty house. And I understand that. Like, I get it. But I also, when it gets to this point, I also look at it as Nick Bosa, just sign and play. Like, if these things are correct, you're making $30 million a year.
Man, I got you. But, like, come on, let's not pretend like there aren't egos involved in this.
No, that's the problem. That's the problem. So, like, the same way I would also say to the 49ers, give them the 1.8. Like, just give it to them. I could also look at Nick Bosa and be like, bro, $30 million, just play. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here?
So,
on both sides, like I said, on both sides, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. See, and that's the key point here. Both sides. What are we doing? If this is really about $1.7 million, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Mr. York and Mr. Bosa. You both look ridiculous.
I agree.
This is a Super Bowl championship team. If this was a team that was looking at an 8, if this was the Raiders, that anything above 8 and 9, you got to consider a success. 8 and 9 might be a victory for them. If it was that, hey, do what you got to do. That's not. There is one goal. There is one outcome to this season for the San Francisco 49ers for this season to be continued to be considered a success. And no matter what happens now, the entire complexion of the Nick Bosa conversation has changed. And we'll talk about that.
And I got some other things that other people are probably going to say that it's going to start ruffling feathers too if they say it the way I probably say it.
It's D'Lo and KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
No, that's the.
Did you hear the intro twice? Was the intro playing twice, Jesse? Did you hear that? Oh, okay, all right, I got you.
That's the last thing that would happen. That's my whole point. What you think? You gonna get traded? You think you gonna play somewhere this year?
Just give the man that extra $2 million and get it over with, bro.
Bro, and I understand that.
I get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, Bosa, like in a better, like perfect world, yeah, just you got enough and stuff like that. But that's just not how it works.
I know. Jason, you keep talking crazy, bro. Look, man, he ain't making 20 cents, man. This ain't college. You're right. This ain't college. He about to make $30 million a year. I don't care about his extra 1.7. I don't. Just like I don't care about the Niners holding out for another 1.7. I don't give a damn about Nick Bosa saying, I need another 1.7 off of this 30. Man, I don't care about that. You getting paid. You getting paid. This is not a situation where you're worth 30 and they trying to give you 15. They giving you 30. You talking about, you don't even, like, the other frustrating thing about this, he don't even want the 1.8. Like, he don't even want the money. He wants the title of I'm the highest paid. That's the other frustrating thing about it. He don't even care about the 1.8. It's the principality of the situation, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well,
John Post, he don't care about. I promise you, he don't care about the 1.7. He don't care about it. It can't be about, man, I don't know how I'm gonna function with 1.7, or I don't know, this isn't right if I don't get 1.7 million. If it was 1.2, he'd have a problem with that. It's not the money, man. It's for them, it's the principality of the situation. They want to say, I'm the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. It's not about the money in that respect.
As a player, isn't that kind of something that, like, not you aim for, but if you have an opportunity to do it, like, why not?
So say this for the year. Say this for the year. It's a good. It's a good question, Jesse. No, you got more than that. What's up, Kyle? I haven't talked to Kyle in 2 days.
Kyle Masson in the house. What up, though?
What up, though?
What up, though?
I didn't get to talk to my dog. I saw that they announced that's the next season of BMF.
Oh, I didn't see that. When it's
Let me get you the
they
date.
usually overlap these things a little bit, like halfway lap these things.
Says March 1st.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, it's probably right.
I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna see it through.
You're
This shit is
I don't
terrible,
feel the same
dude.
way about
I
it.
think
as
it's
you do.
awful.
I
think
like
it's
it.
poorly acted. And I swear to God, if that dude don't die,
Now that's the worst part. That part is ridiculous.
it's like, is this dude a zombie at this point? Like, what are we doing? I think he's a fiend now or something. Like, I can't remember what they did at the end of that season. Shout out to Keegan Murray Watch. I think he's new to the show. He said, LOL, they put up ESPN 1320 sign so they don't say the wrong call sign. No, dummy. I got a note card that says ESPN 1320 on it so I don't say the wrong call signs. And still managed to welcome the Insiders to 102.5 last week. So that was a big moment for all of us. Okay, so there's a lot more to discuss with this Nick Bosa situation and the ramifications that have come about of it. Because I know you want to cook a little bit.
Mhm.
Let's get to a question Jesse asked, because this was actually on my mind when the show started. Jesse said during the commercial that, like, if you have the opportunity to be the highest paid player in the league, like you're going to take that there. And we had a conversation about the ego involved in this. And I'm not looking down at that at all. Like, I get it. I never heard, I'm not saying he didn't, publicly, I never heard Nick Bosa say, I want to be the highest paid player in the league.
Mhm.
I did not hear that. I heard everybody else say it. I heard everybody else say, if someone's going to flirt with that Aaron Donald contract, it's going to be Nick Bosa. There's conversations about, Micah Parsons and what Nick Bosa's deal means for Micah Parsons. I do think, I'm not suggesting a conspiracy here by any means. I do think Jerry is watching this situation extremely closely.
Yeah.
Because if let's not all laugh at the same time. But if the Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl this year, Micah Parsons is going to be a big
fella laughs, that one.
Shout out Rob Dubb and the rest of the Cowboy fans in the chatty house. But if it happens, hell froze over. Micah Parsons is going to be a big reason why that happens. When he goes to the negotiation table with Jerry next year, hey, you see what Nick Bosa got. We have the same accolades. We're that close to the same player. I do think when contracts are being negotiated, there is a certain level of, from an ownership and front office perspective, of keeping order with the league. I think that's why you see these small increments. I think that's why there was such a blowback to the Deshaun Watson thing. But Nick never said that. Everybody else did. And for it not to happen almost would come across, if I'm Nick Bosa, I might feel this way, like a failure. Like I failed. But am I not the guy they said I was? I'm $30 million, but I'm not him. I'm not 31.7. So my request is this before you tell me to go straight to hell. If you ever at any point, be it you, someone watching, someone listening, someone on TV right now with Stephen A. Smith, this is a rerun. If you at any point said Nick Bosa should be the highest paid player in football, you can't be mad at where they're at now. You can't say nothing about it. If you're in the San Francisco Chronicle and you wrote about Nick Bosa being the highest paid player, and you know the San Francisco 49ers are not offering him the contract to be the highest paid player, don't say nothing about Nick Bosa. This ain't about him. It's about you. You said this. You put this out there. And if he's sitting there like, yeah, I should be, don't be mad when he fights to get exactly what you wrote about or what you said on your show.
And this is where the hard truths come into play. He's not better than Aaron Donald. So he can like, I failed. I didn't reach that. You didn't necessarily fail. You're not him. He won a Super Bowl.
I feel like it's debatable, but he didn't win a Super Bowl.
He ended 2 games to win Super Bowls. He ended it. He ended it. He
didn't do that in the 5th year of his career, though.
Okay.
That's not out of line.
He also didn't make $30 million in his 5th year. Like, things happen. Like, that's the setup of the league.
Collective bargaining agreements change.
So if we're going off of Aaron Donald, then you should be making what he made in his 5th year, and then build your way up to
that's
30.
not how. That's not.
Right,
Come on, man. You know better than
right.
that.
I understand. Works. I understand that. So what I'm saying is how it works is if it doesn't necessarily work where if you're not the best player in the game, that you don't surpass that guy contractually.
Well, how much of it is, y'all don't think I'm the best player in the game?
What if I said no?
Oh, what are we even talking about then?
So you don't want nothing because I don't think you're the best player in the game.
I could play somewhere else.
That's crazy.
It absolutely
that's crazy
is.
Because I don't think you're the best player in the game. You don't want to take my $30 million. I understand. Like I said, I understand pro player, greedy owners, all that other stuff. But do people understand how crazy that sounds?
Do you think there's another team in the league that would offer him $32 million to play for them?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's multiple teams who would do it.
Okay.
It's if the Browns gave Deshaun Watson what they gave him,
Jesus,
then there's all it takes.
I don't think the Browns got another one of those in their bag.
Well, not necessarily them, but that's just to show that somebody will do something like that.
We love you. We love you like that. Come over here, Nicholas.
Isn't it all kind of, this might not be the right word, but
probably a Florida team. Sorry.
Semantics with all this. Like Aaron Donald, maybe you think he's arguably the best player, but like Nick Bosa's, him and Parsons are right there. Like it's their league as far as defensive players. Like maybe statistically wise or whatever. Yeah, he's not like the best, but like it's his league now. Like it's his time.
But that my whole point is it's all semantics, right? Like it's not like they're not paying them. Like I said during the break. Look, listen, we're having a conversation.
You're hanging your hat on the wrong thing.
We're having a conversation about the 1.7 million more that he wants. He don't care about 1.7. He cares about the status.
See, but
that's crazy that you would sacrifice the season over your status.
You could say the same thing about the 49ers. Sorry, Jesse.
Yeah, that's just the game at this point. Like the 49ers have to, I don't know what the right word is, but they have to have like the mindfulness or the peace of mind to where like this is how it works. Once you got a guy that's at that level, you pay him as if he is the best defensive player. Like, this is just what the game is.
That's the crazy part. I thought we were already there. I thought we've been talking about this I just said this for 3 years.
Well, nobody said he's the best defensive player in the game. Nobody has said.
Oh, that's
how many people have said he's better than Aaron Donald? How many people have said that?
I mean, at this point, I'll take Nick Bosa over Aaron Donald right now.
Okay. No, I'm just saying nobody said that. Nobody has said that. They say he's the best edge rusher. Nobody has said, no, he's better than Aaron Donald. Nobody has said that so far. And now he wants to be paid. And fine, like I'm telling you, I'll say it again, like I said yesterday, I'd give him the money just to end all this stupid stuff.
So let me ask you this then. Is Aaron Donald still the best player in football?
There are people who said last year he was still the best defensive player in the game. Do I agree? We asked the question yesterday. You said, do I think Nick Bosa is the best? Yeah, I do. There's people, Bill Simmons' cousin Sal, think it's Parsons. And they think so, Jones is after him.
So are we having a conversation where Aaron Donald's the third best defensive player?
No, I'm telling you, there's people who don't even think Bosa's the best.
No. I got that. But like if it's Micah, if it's Nick Bosa,
mm-hmm.
where does Aaron Donald fall in all of this in 2023? Because that's the contract we're talking about.
That's the contract we're talking about. But at the same time, you're making more than those other two we're talking about. You're making more than all these people that they're saying are better than you.
Here's the uncomfortable Lamar Jackson truth of this. And I hated this for Lamar, and I hate it for Nick Bosa.
Nicholas John.
Nicholas John. That Aaron Donald contract, that's kind of a mulligan. There's nothing right, and that's not an indictment. Like we've outlined this before. So if this is your first time tuning in, let me explain this. It's not because Aaron Donald isn't great. It's not because Aaron Donald might not be the greatest. It was a pleading moment from the Los Angeles Rams for him not to retire. Don't retire. Stick around. They gave him this 3-year deal, I think, that he is in full control of. If Aaron Donald pays, if Aaron Donald plays, he gets that $31 million a year. Like, I think it's low-key a fully guaranteed contract that no one talks about. I feel like it was 3 years, like $95 million, and everyone was, like, whatever.
Yeah.
They're a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody thought he would be around to see the end of it. He's in full control of this. This is as big of a deal as the Deshaun Watson was, the Deshaun Watson contract was. But it was done with the thought of, I know if I'm the Los Angeles Rams, this is how I'm selling it. I know we've got one more chance. Turns out they didn't. Lots of things went wrong. Stafford's arm, they had issues to jump. Like, I get that. But in that moment, I know we've got one more very legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl. And we need Aaron Donald to do it. It turns out it didn't happen. I don't blame the Rams for that. They had a roster constructed to win immediately. Not a window of 5 years. They didn't have a window of 4 years. They had a window of like 2, maybe 3. They locked up Aaron Donald for every single one of those. I don't fault them for that. But it's not the norm in the NFL. And if I'm John Lynch or Jed York or whoever is handling this, that might be what I'm saying to Nick Bosa. This is not the same. He signed 3 years, $95 million. We're trying to sign you for 5 years, 5 years, 121. Now, we all know that's garbage, but you can weed that down to $96 million guaranteed. More money than Aaron Donald.
And that's the thing I don't understand.
We can cut you after 3 years, but it's still more money than Aaron Donald.
Right. We'll find a way to have that highest paying year one that I can get out of.
You can fake everything. That's
what
in the
I
NFL.
don't understand. Like, I don't understand how the people in the 49ers in the front office and Nick Bosa's agent and all this other stuff somebody hasn't said and they've agreed to, look, man, we'll paint this however you want it to be painted. Okay? Like, we can put whatever numbers out there to make you look good and pay you at the same time. Can we just get to that point? Like, I don't, once again, I'm going to continue to say this because I don't know if people hear me. I just give him what he wants so we can end all this. But Nick Bosa is being ridiculous in this situation too, if all these reports are accurate.
Our man Scout says Rams paid Aaron Donald because he brought home the Super Bowl. No, they didn't. They paid Aaron Donald because they thought they could bring home a second Super Bowl. That's why they paid him. Since when does the NFL give thank you money? Running backs across the league are asking for thank you money and can't get it. They sure as hell ain't giving Aaron Donald thank you money. They was giving Aaron Donald, please don't go, baby money. Don't leave me yet. We still got some good years.
I think there's some truth to that, though.
I don't think so.
I think there's some like
I think it was 100%. That's what it was.
But you have to win it to run it back.
Yeah, but I don't think
I'm not saying they would have not gave him anything.
I don't think they were offering that money as a thank you.
I'm not saying they wouldn't have gave him nothing if they wouldn't have won, but they won. They wanted to do it again.
I think Aaron Donald was closer to retirement than I gave him credit for when that first broke, and I think it broke from him. When I think that first came, I was okay. But I think he was a lot closer than I thought, and that's why the Rams did what they did. Who we got? We got Daniel, 916-909-1320. What's up, Daniel?
Fellas, how's it going today?
We good, Daniel. What's up, baby?
Good, man. Good. Hey, okay. I think Bosa he deserves every cent he's getting. Where I come from with the Niners is I don't pay it. I don't pay what he wants because it's going to hamstring the team in the future. I don't think
$1.7 million. $1.7 million.
$31.5 million.
So you wouldn't pay him 30?
No, I wouldn't. No way in hell.
The cap situation next year is crazy. Like it's going
to be crazy, man. I don't want to lose. Yeah, dude, there's no way I pay him what he wants, man. He's asking for way too much. And I go back to what Bill Walsh never pays him. DeBartolo doesn't pay him. The Patriots don't pay him. They cut him earlier. The problem I have with the way the Niners have done this is they should have known this a season ago. They should have traded him before the draft.
Yeah, I'm not trading Nick Bosa with an opportunity to win a Super Bowl.
Daniel, that's your worst call ever. I love you, Daniel, but God bless it. I disagree with every damn thing Daniel said.
I disagree, but he's not wrong.
In what regard?
Like their cap situation is nasty next year. Assuming the Bosa, like I've seen it where if they give Bosa this money, this is what the cap situation is looking like. It's nasty. Like some of your best players, at least one or two of your best players are going to be gone.
Okay, I'll go with what Daniel said. Talked about the Patriots. Patriots wouldn't have paid him. No, the Patriots didn't pay Brady because Brady allowed himself not to be paid. That was his decision. But you get rid of a player a year too early rather than a year too late. That's a Belichick motto. I think an unofficial motto.
Bill Walsh too.
Okay, fine. Get rid of a player. There's players on the roster who can go. I'm not going to say who, but there's players on the 49ers roster that will relieve cap space that can go.
I'm not ready to say those names right now.
No, I'm not going to say those names at all. It's not my job. I don't get paid to do that. I don't care if we are the highest paid show on radio. We're not doing that. Yeah, but I don't. Deal with the cap next year.
I agree.
You knew this moment was here.
I agree with you. I'm just saying Daniel's not wrong. Like you might not be able to.
Daniel said he wouldn't pay him at all.
Yeah, he's wrong in that decision that he would make. But the potential ramifications of signing Nick Bosa to $30+ million a year, he's not wrong about that. I would do it. And I'd figure some other things out. Like, and I know this doesn't make people happy, but like a lot of people point towards Ayuk, right? They're like, man, you got to sign Brandon Ayuk. You got to, you'll probably lose him if you sign Nick Bosa. Once again, here, this CEO front office careway again.
Well,
ain't that what the franchise tag is there for?
Wow.
I know he might not like it.
Wow. Listen to this guy.
So
you're franchising players.
So let me ask you a question. You give him with the option of either having to let Brandon Ayuk walk or give him the franchise. Which
I'm giving the franchise tag. I didn't bring it up though. Yeah, I'm giving that man the franchise tag. No doubt about that. Or like whoever. God, do receivers even get that tag?
Not.
I can't think of it. Like really. I feel like receivers are like, yeah, we'll sign for whatever.
Yeah, not really. They don't. But
wow, Kenny, what a turn this is on your part. My good. I guess it's not. Oh my God! I guess
that's unfair.
It's not really a heel turn because you've been like this for a while. You've been low key a ownership guy for a while.
Man, I'm about winning, man. And here's the other aspect of it, because I'm about winning.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Fred Warner, if I'm Moody Ward, if I'm Dre Greenlaw, if I'm Eric Armstead, Sacramento Stand Up,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm Talanoga Hufanga,
Mm-hmm.
hey, man, stop asking me about that man. Don't ask me no more questions about Nick Bosa, because I'm actually getting a little pissed off because Damian in Sacramento is saying we can't win without him. Jesse in Sacramento is saying we can't win. It's actually starting to piss me off. Don't ask me about that man no more. If he wants to come, that's my man's. That's my man's. All right? That's my guy. I'm going to welcome him with open arms. But right now he's not here. Don't ask me about him no more.
The wild sequence of sentences right there. Let's get to Mitch real quick. I get that point, though. I would have phrased it a little bit differently, but I get it. 916-909-1320. Got an early Mitch call here on the West Coast. Mitch.
Yeah, what's happening? Vacation was great. It's so hot. But I still drinking hot coffee or hot mocha in the summer.
I didn't know you went on vacation.
Where did you go, Mitch?
I visited a family down in Virginia 3 days.
Oh, that's what's
up. Lawton, where you put the car on the train.
You
retire in
the family with the grandson. You got to spend time with your grandson.
Oh, my grandson's at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm the grandfather. I can spoil him, and I'm also pretty much the financial bank account on shoes. That's why I'm still working.
Okay.
I mean, I like work, but work.
Shout out to
I'm not in the system. Can you believe I am not in the system? They reject my idea. I'm hoping getting paid. I know I did, but I opened my big mouth to my boss's boss. Hey, they got to sign Bosa. They drafted first round picks like 4 years in a row. 3 of them were good, and he's the last guy standing. He's one of the best. Him and his brother, top two, I think. I think Mr. Aaron Donald. He's got a little long in the tooth there, and he's going along with the plan in L.A. to go get Caleb Williams.
Oh, I love the Caleb. Yeah, Jesse had it. I was curious where the Caleb Williams reference was going, but
so that's the plan. They're trying to tank for Caleb.
The Rams are.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams have fully given up.
Well,
that
would be a bad idea.
To not fully give up.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
I'm concerned about. I said this last year. I was like, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, he's got an arm issue that we're just not going to talk about. And I guess it's just better. I feel like you got some judgments to make and I'm a Matt Stafford guy. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think you got some judgments to make really early in the season if you're Sean McVay in this group in Los Angeles. Yeah. If he's better, great. You're going to be just fine. I don't think you're a Super Bowl team anymore. I think you're going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. If he's not, though, you've got a whole host of issues you've got to sort out over the next season into the next offseason.
And the other aspect to that as well, we could talk about this throughout the year. I know it was only week one. Man, I saw some good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I saw some good young quarterbacks.
Yeah. Kyle Shanahan is set to speak here any minute. I cannot find a YouTube link. This might not be.
God, why are the Niners like this?
I don't know
why are they like this?
I have been refreshing the 49ers YouTube page for about 40 minutes. And this might be, I mean, you're in front of the podium. You're in front of the camera. You're the most talked about story in the NFL right now, which is amazing because the Chiefs play tomorrow. Right. What's that tell you about this entire situation? The Chiefs play tomorrow, and Nick Bosa is still leading news broadcast and NFL broadcast.
I think it's also got something to do with the franchise.
I understand.
But no, because I'll say if all this was different and it was Cowboys, they would be leading. They'd be leading.
That's wild.
If all this was, no disrespect, but the Dolphins, I don't think they'd be leading everybody's talk. The Vikings.
Kansas City's the defending. Kansas City is the now.
I know.
You got the greatest quarterback that's ever lived in existence on that team.
The now never beats the legendary in the NFL. Hell, in most sports. That's why they talk about the Lakers and Celtics all the time, even though we don't.
Well, the
care about
Celtics
them.
kind of are the now.
True. So are the Niners.
Guess your Lakers are too, because LeBron.
Well, whose Lakers?
Yours.
Stop, bro. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's pictures all over social
Hey, man, there's
media.
gonna be some furniture moving, and people keep saying I'm a Lakers fan.
All right, let's go around the room here.
Let's show.
Have you ever taken a picture in front of a Lakers mural? Me? No, I haven't. Damon, have you?
I have not.
So you ain't never flicked off a Lakers mural.
I've never been seen with a picture in front of a Lakers mural.
If you came across a Lakers mural, would you flick it off?
I would just walk past it because I don't acknowledge that team.
Wow. Let me ask this follow-up question. Were you I think that's another discussion, probably for another day. Flicking versus flipping.
I feel like when people say flicking, they're trying to be nice. I feel like it's flipping. It should be
I
flipping.
thought it was flipping too, but
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever. That's what I did to that damn mural, and that's the bottom line.
Are you flipping the mirror off in all of them?
What are you talking about?
You're not even facing the mural with your middle finger up.
Yeah, pardon my back. That's what that is. Pardon my back.
I don't know.
I want to know, is there a normal picture of you just smiling in front of the mirror? Did you take a normal picture? That's what I want to know. I don't want to know about the flipping off and all that. Did you take a picture and smile in front of it?
I really don't even know what y'all talking about.
You don't?
No, man. Y'all just talking, man. Y'all podding out here, man.
Okay.
Y'all podding.
All right.
Podding, man.
Dr. David, you know what to do.
Y'all podding, man.
Kyle Shanahan, we'll start talking here any minute. I guess we'll read the quotes to you.
That's whack.
I don't know what you want to do.
Well, it's not your fault. I'm just saying it's whack.
I guess we'll just read what was said with no context or tone to it. And any videos we can bring you from our various friends covering the 49ers in person, we will certainly bring those to you. So that's happening, I believe, right now, or it should be happening any second. So Nick Bosa, the 49ers season is approaching. The NFL season is approaching. Of course, it gets underway tomorrow. Our annual 4 in, 4 out. What 4 teams made the playoffs last year that won't this year? We've got that ahead. James Ham will join us for the first time as a host of the Insiders on ESPN 1320 coming up at 3 o'clock.
Shout
as
out
well.
to James. I also want to know what you think about what I said the players need to be saying.
Okay, we'll do that.
Or what I would be saying if I was a player.
Steeler and KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino. You're on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Hey, if you're in the league, get your picks in.
Oh, for God's sake.
Get your picks in if you're in the league.
Oh, wow. Well, it didn't even take long for that. Look at that picture. Smiling, posing with LeBron and AD and Kuz.
Be your own people, bro. For real.
Okay.
I would say it'd be hilarious if they asked.
Ain't even no damn smile.
If they asked Kyle Shanahan, like, "Hey, is Nick Bosa going to be there week 1?" He's like, "I don't even know if we'll all be here Sunday." Like,
oh, that would be terrific. That'd be well done. That would be very well done on John's part, or on Kyle's part.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I don't even know if we'll all be here on Sunday.
All I hear when you do that is Manny.
You got to get the deep breaths in. Dude goes to the podium like he just got done running sprints.
Nick Bosa has agreed to a 5-year, $170 million deal. That's a shoot. That's a shoot. The tweet is out. Nick Bosa has agreed to a 5-year, $170 million extension with $122.5 million guaranteed.
Let's go get number 6 now, goddammit. Let's go get number 6 now, goddammit.
There it is. From the desk of Adam Schefter.
175, 5 years?
Stand by.
That's 35 per.
Yeah, boy, that is some fudging right there. But let's check this out. Yeah, 122 guaranteed. Yes, it's 5 years.
Go get this done.
Yep, deal is done.
So let's get it done. Number 6. Let's get it done.
Oh, will you sit?
We're not playing no more.
All right.
Nick was listening, and he said, "You know what? You're right, KC.
See,
let me get in there with my mans."
The 49ers were listening.
Jackie, no.
Will you leave Jackie alone? You're probably scaring her. She's like, why
Stop
that man
playing.
pointing at me so aggressively?
Stop playing. Rob W.
Cam, come get your man.
Ramsey.
What's wrong with
Rob
him?
W. Y'all was John Pauls. Y'all was praying on our downfall because you knew what was happening. You knew what would happen if he came to the squad. It's over now. You know that. It's over now.
It escalated quickly.
It's over now. Number 6 loading.
Okay. Poor Kyle. Jesus Christ. Poor Kyle Madsen had to turn around and he's like, oh shit, I gotta go right. I gotta get back to the studio. I got work to do.
Kyle walked in here like a fire was starting. I gotta go. I gotta get going.
Oh man.
The squad is locked in. Now what?
You wanna if you wanna jump on when you're done writing, you can.
Glad the 49ers came to their senses.
All right.
Squad locked in.
Okay. Boy. You literally said Nick Bosa ain't shit like 5 minutes ago.
It's not what I said. I told him stop playing Nicholas John and let's get it done.
He
listened.
You were flicking off a Nick Bosa mural somewhere just minutes ago.
Pour one out for Daniel too. Said he wouldn't pay.
Oh, Daniel.
My guy's pissed.
Daniel. Oh man. Will these commercials end? God damn it.
Oh. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
From the desk of Adam Schefter, Nick Bosa has agreed to a 5-year, $170 million extension with the San Francisco 49ers, including $122.5 guaranteed by a wide margin. It will make him the highest paid defensive player in history.
His name is Nick Bosa. 97. We ain't playing no more. I'm glad they were listening to D-Lo and KC. They're both sides heard me get turned up because it was getting ridiculous, man. It was getting ridiculous.
Sorry, that wasn't breaking news. That was Jerry Jones throwing something across the room. Sorry about that. Jerry Jones just got the tweet, and someone just filled him in on the Nick Bosa contract. And
yeah, man, it was getting ridiculous.
His financial future is ahead of him.
We got a championship to win. I've said for a number of weeks now, and I don't think you've ever heard me say it like this, Damien. To be honest here, Jesse, the same way. I've said for a number of weeks, the 49ers are winning the Super Bowl this year.
Can I just state this for those that are just listening? I read this tweet right as it popped up during the commercial break. This dude stood up, walked around the room yelling at no one in particular, started screaming at Jackie sitting outside, started yelling at everybody in sight, put his sunglasses on for reasons I still haven't figured out, went back to calling the man Nick Bosa. It's been a wild 3 minutes here in the studio.
Because you already know what time it is. That's why everybody was praying for him to hold out. The Rob W's, the Ramseys, the John Pauls.
Rob Dub is a Cowboy fan.
He wanted him to hold out.
Okay,
because they knew what time it was.
Okay, what is happening with your voice?
They knew what time it was. 6, man. 6 is coming, man.
Pause. Who's 6? And never mind. Let me go to
X-Pac.
X-Pac. Well, I've heard stories about X-Pac. Give me a minute. Just keep screaming for
I'm gonna talk then.
No, okay,
because I've
you
said
can talk because
for weeks. We've been doing this show 3 years. I said, I got confidence in the Niners.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think they could get it done I picked them. You ain't never heard me talk like this.
Can I point out how funny this is? Look what popped up all of a sudden.
We gotta hear from my man.
Question.
We gotta hear
Guess what?
Okay, relax. Sasha Banks knockoff. Wait a second.
I said it. I said it. Niners are winning the Super Bowl this year. They're winning the Super Bowl. And now everybody locked in. Okay. Everybody in the fold.
Boy, what a
man. Where we doing the show live at? Are we going to be at Market Street? Are we going to be up here at 39? Where we doing the show live at? You need me to be an on-site correspondent? Where we at that day? Because it's happening.
Is that piece of news you just passed along from the television?
I don't know if it's from the television from Kyle Madsen, who related to me.
Kyle Madsen reports that Nick Bosa, according to Adam Schefter, will play Sunday.
Get out there and smack up Kenny Pickett real
Remind
quick.
Remind me.
I'm the real Kenny, not Kenny Pickett. I'm the real Kenny. Nick gonna tell him. My man in Sacramento, that's the real Kenny.
Oh my. Oh my God. Dated December 5th, 2018. I take Greedy Williams over Bosa every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Hey, I didn't want Nick Bosa. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I'm sorry. What?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't want Nick Bosa.
Dr. David went to work on this one. Again. You let your Ohio State hate get the best of you. Come on,
he had a lot going on.
I understand.
He had a lot going on.
And I love that we're acting like you still don't have all that stuff going on.
I don't know. His teammates stuff.
I'm sorry, sir. Where were you January 6th?
I mean, you don't need an alibi. He gonna need an alibi.
The man was out there with Chris Jericho's wife, just acting a fool.
I'm keeping track of these guarantees, by the way. I got them written down.
What's the other one we got?
You said on August 10th that the Niners will average 30 per game with Brock Purdy. D'Lo, August 30th said Jimmy G will play 16 to 17 games this season.
Well, you got the one of me guaranteeing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You have proof?
I wrote it down.
Oh,
I got it dated and everything.
I think that's gonna happen. From David Lombardi, $34 million annual per year for Nick Bosa. Beats Aaron Donald's $2 million. Beats Aaron Donald by over $2 million. It's not the same deal. Remember. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, it seems like the Niners said to hell with it, man. Just getting uniform.
I'm expecting a stunning number guaranteed at signing. I'm expecting that number to be extremely high. Here is your coach.
Ray McLeod. He got cleared, so he's limited. I mean, at least by the doctors to practice and everything. Orrin Burks limited, Gibson limited, Huff limited. Kittle limited, Mason limited, Jake Mooney limited.
So cute that he think anyone cares about this.
Can you confirm that Nick Bosa has signed?
Yes, I can. No, he's gonna try to get here today though. So hopefully, maybe. I actually was preparing to talk to you guys about how I have nothing to tell you guys, and I was 3 minutes late because I just got told of the news. So obviously pumped up about it, and try to hit him up after this and figure it out. But I know he's trying to get here as fast as possible.
Relief is this for you? Like, what were your thoughts as we were getting closer to game one here?
Not good thoughts. But when you feel it's kind of, you try not to think about it much because it's not really in my control, and you just got to let the process play itself out. Once it kind of went through the weekend, I just kind of got in my mind that we weren't playing with them. Because if I would have gone back and forth, that would have been miserable. So I just decided we weren't. I think our team was ready to not, and that was our mindset this way, and it was a hell of a bonus to just get told that coming in here. So we're obviously real excited about it.
What's the realistic amount of snaps for Sunday?
How many snaps are in the game? I'm just joking. We got to see when he gets here. I know Nick will come in shape. I know he'll be good. It'd be great if he could get in something today. I don't know when he's going to get here or where he's flying from. But I mean, we'll be smart with it, and that'll be based over these next 2.5 practices.
You've got plenty of stuff that you got to take care of, but how much do you get involved? How much did you get involved? Generally in this specifically, did you ever just say, hey, guys, let's just get this done? What was your involvement?
I mean, yeah, I always want to get it done, and that's how we feel too. But I didn't get involved in this one at all. I try not to at all. We kind of had an idea it was going to be like this. I thought it would come to fruition sometime last week, and it didn't, which made me nervous, made me kind of move on with it just because I thought I had to. But I mean, we all knew Nick was going to get rewarded like he did. I don't know the exact details of it, but I knew it would be like that eventually. Our organization did, and I think Nick did, and I'm just glad we got it worked out on everyone's side because we love Nick. I think he loves being here, and he's definitely earned this, and he's going to earn it going forward too.
You literally just learned, or did you get the indication that things are getting closer and closer and it could pop at any second?
No, literally just learned. Yeah.
What was the first thing you thought of when you heard that news?
He thought he was going to talk about Ray
Since it
McLeod
was
today.
right before I came in here, it was, Corey, why are you wasting my time with these questions? Because they're not going to ask me these questions anymore. So that was it. And now I'm really excited to go out there and have some other thoughts, start talking to the coaches and things like that. But once this weekend ended, we kind of had to stop thinking that way. I mean, if you start half in, half out when you don't know, that can really that can mess up a lot of the plans and things like that, get people in the wrong position. So we've kind of been just one track, just hoping it would work out, but ready for it not to. And the fact it did, obviously everyone knows how pumped we are.
No, you, Chris, Steve, did you guys work on like a plan for what he was going to be doing in Florida these weeks that he wasn't playing with the team? Is he doing D-line drills? What kinds of things was he doing? Do you know?
Probably the same stuff he does every other day he's down there, which is stuff that he knows how to do for D-line. Nick is a smart player in our scheme. It's not the most complicated thing for the D-line, but he's very good at it. So Nick's been on his own completely, and that's why I don't want to answer too much. I got to see when he gets here, but we've got to know Nick pretty well and kind of expect when he gets here to look and act and be in the same spot he's been since the day we met him.
A corresponding move yet, or does that happen when he puts pen to paper?
No, we haven't. I can't believe you guys know. I thought we were the only ones that know. So,
Jesus Christ!
At this point, whether he's going to be in uniform on Sunday.
I mean, there is question because we haven't seen him, but I think you guys know how I'm talking. Like, you have to have a beer belly and be out of shape or something. That's not in Bosa's DNA.
How big? I don't know if you just heard, but do you tell players? What do you do when you hear this?
I'd love to tell guys. They'd be excited. By the time I tell everyone, they'll probably think it's old news, and that's why I don't get that everyone gets stuff a lot faster than that. So they all know, I'm sure, by now, and I know they'll be excited.
How big picture? You have a group of guys, a veteran nucleus that's been around for a while, a little older. Then you have some young guys kind of emerging. Bosa's like right in the middle of that at 25 years old. How important is it to have somebody like him who can set the standard for maybe kind of that next nucleus, so to speak?
I think it's huge. I feel like that's what we've been trying to do since we've gone here, and we've had some free agents that we've gone and paid for. I know we did Hargrave this year, and you go back to Mooney a couple of years ago. But for the most part, we got Trent in a trade who ended up getting that after being here a year. But that's the goal of how you want to do it. You want your players to see that. You hope you get the guys who play the right way and at a certain level, and you can reward them. And I think it started with, I want to go back to Fred and Debo and Kittle and all those guys, and Nick was either the year after them, right? I think the year after. So I like to have one each year.
You guys following Nick's lead already in terms of I aspire to that kind of, the work ethic and the discipline and all those types of
I think everyone's a product in their environment. So everyone thinks they are based off of people they're around. And then when you get around different people, or you think you're one way or another, and then you see someone like how Fred Warner comes in every day and works. You see how dedicated Bosa is to his craft, not just here, but year around. You see things like that from people you knew before you came. And I think that's just what makes everyone change. I mean, everyone has a certain standard. And then when you see other people at a higher standard who also play at a higher level, it kind of brings everybody up and shows you what it takes to be this good in this league, to make it this league. And when you have that ability to be in a situation like this, to be great.
What are your guidelines for Moody to decide whether he plays?
Just as long as he doesn't have a setback. He's looking good now, and I feel good about him, and I'd be surprised if he's not there. So we'll keep going at the pace we're at. As long as he doesn't have a setback, we should be all right.
Do you have captains for the season?
Yes, we have. It was Armstead, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Debo, Fred Warner, and Trent Williams.
A captain pretty early in his career, like Trey wasn't. We're going to compare Trey wasn't last season. Did you want to see that? Is it important for you that your starting quarterback's a captain?
It really isn't to me. I thought about this when I became a head coach. I mean, when you think really hard about the captains and stuff, and it'd be cool if there was just one on each, which I kind of like and stuff, but then it becomes a little bit of a popularity contest with the players. I never have to want to get involved and tell them I disagree or anything. So I always just get their top guys. I have them all vote for 4 people. You get a first place, second place, third place, and fourth place vote. I get the top 8, and then you decide off of that. And we went 1 through 6, and I think the most we've kept is 7 before, but there's a lot more than 6 guys on our team who could do it. And so that's why it's kind of thing I try not to make too big a deal about, because you're going to offend someone on your team.
As a leader?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I definitely do. It's when you go out and you play like he did last year, that's what it is. I mean, it's hard to be seen as a leader when you haven't been out there before. Guys can think you're a leader. You can act like a leader, but guys don't follow many people who don't produce on the field. And I think that's why he got so many votes this year, because I think they believed in him and thought he was one of the leaders last year, not because he's being some vet and talking to guys a certain way, just because of how he prepares, that they can count on him, and how he handled a number of situations when he got in there.
What's to say about Debo too? Like after he admittedly wasn't what he should have been last year.
I think it says a ton. I think it says how I was happy for Debo he got that. I think he was disappointed he didn't last year. I know he was. And for him to be one of those guys, especially how last year ended a little bit for him, I think it shows how dedicated he's been. You guys have seen it out on the field, and you guys have written about it and stuff, and players feel it strongly also.
Pittsburgh's defense, what do they look like on film? What's the traits of a Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin defense?
They play as hard as anyone.
Shout out to whoever that was.
Their linebackers, their
Tried to get
secondary,
this
they all get after it.
conference back
They're
on
an
track.
Extremely physical group. We haven't played them for a number of years, but
Sir, no one
just
cares.
watching Hayward, watching Watt, Minka. I mean, those guys, not only are they as talented as it gets, but the mindset they play with, the effort they play with. When you don't see a team for a while, because not being in the AFC, and it's been like 4 years since we've gone against them, you don't know where they've come, and it's very obvious why they won 7 out of the last 9 games. It's just watching the defense side of the ball and then get into their offense, seeing some of the players they have and the way that quarterback's been playing and the way he played last year at the end of the year. It's been real impressive.
You're more of a realist. John Lynch seems a little bit more like he's a little bit more positive. Did that help you?
I loved how you said that. I'm not a negative guy. All right.
This whole process with Nick Bosa, that he's kind of seems more eternally positive.
I prepared myself from the beginning, so I never was expecting it right away. Which helps me stay more positive. I got a little different these last couple of days, but I haven't been doing it for a while. John has the personality for this stuff. He does a good job with it. I know it's been hard because I know how bad John believes in Nick and wanted him here for our team. So I know how much stressed he was, feeling that pressure to try to get it done. Not only him, but Prague and Hamp. And I could tell when they walked in my door right before I came in here on their face, and really just their energy, that they had got it done, because it was weighing on him a little bit. It was important to get him in here, just not for us to just have a better chance to win, but because the person we know and how big of a part of the team he is for us.
How long would they have been allowed to stay in the office if they hadn't gotten it done?
If they what?
If they hadn't gotten it done and they came in.
It wouldn't have been very long. They probably want to come down. It's Wednesday. Things are a little tighter.
Mini celebration between the 4 of you.
There's a couple bro hugs and congratulations. And now I told them to go enjoy.
This is Kyle's most entertaining press conference ever.
Real football.
Have to get involved at the last minute.
What's that?
Did you ever think you'd have to get involved in this at the last minute, or do you?
Not really. I mean, if I do, it's always just to talk to the player, and I didn't have to do that. So glad. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Kyle Shanahan right there. Shout out to the San Francisco 49ers for putting that up on YouTube. I'm really happy that was available. We'll carry press conferences for the 49ers when we can. We'll look into the Raiders and see what their strategy is with that type of stuff as well. Actually, one, incredibly entertaining. Two,
he's all chipper. Like Jesse said, just joking around. Kyle Chappelle out there.
Can I also point out, just for those that are watching, forgive me, Odyssey and tune in 1320 and 98.5. But for those that are watching, did you see Kyle's beard?
Yeah.
It was flawless.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted my beard to look like.
It
Multiple
still can
colors,
happen.
just cut to perfection. Like, it looked like $1 million to me.
I mean, it still can happen.
It could.
You got to be patient.
Yo, I went like 4 weeks.
Sometimes it takes 4 to 6. It was getting there.
You could see like the grays and Kyle, winner with the beard right there.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. I also think Kyle might have been full of a little bit of crap.
Uh-oh.
Well, he talked about, I just found out they just got the deal. But then at the very end of the press conference, he references walking in to the facility and seeing the way everyone was reacting, knowing they were close. Like, you knew coming in, like this thing was going to get done, or at least you knew when you walked in that it was really close to getting done.
Hey,
and I'm guessing he might have gotten a text this morning that said, "Hey, Brody, this thing is close, Coach. We got you."
I would love to hear how that played out. Like, did somebody just wake up this morning and was like, "Hey, we'll give him the extra money," or did Jed come out here and be like, "Look, what are we doing? Give him the money." Like, I wish somebody would kind of break that down, like, to how that thing played out, because what did Rappaport say yesterday? Like, it would need something. It wasn't super dramatic, but
Rappaport,
need a lot of work. Or
yeah.
It would need a
49ers would need to get a lot done.
Yeah.
I think a huge breakthrough might have been the line he used.
Yeah, and I think he was talking today about how he wasn't there. There, doesn't look like I don't want to put words in what he said, but
yeah, he did. He said all of that. Yeah,
this morning to like doesn't look like he's.
Kyle just said that a second ago, that he's not there, and I always thought in these types of situations, he's not at the facility. He's in Santa Clara.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be in Santa Clara?
He's not in Santa Clara. My guess is like he's in.
Why are you in Florida right now?
Something. Yeah, let's bring in our good friend Kyle Matson. This is the beauty of Kyle Matson working with us here at ESPN 1320 is whenever 49ers news breaks, we just, Kyle, come back to work.
Yeah, man.
No, let's pod your mic up. That's my fault. So can you confirm that my suspicions were correct, that you turned to leave, you got the tweet, and you came running back in because you knew you had work
I was
to do?
walking in to the studio where my things were to grab them and exit.
Yep.
I was going home. And literally I got a text from my mom. So I'm in the restroom. I'm walking out of the restroom towards the studio. It's like a 10-foot walk. And I get a text from my mom that just says woo with a bunch of O's.
Oh.
And like a little Ric Flair action. And I was like, what is this about? And then it dawned on me, and then I got a Slack notification from USA Today that was like, hey, this just happened.
So Schefter not on push notifications for you?
I don't have Twitter on my phone.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's been a great
stunning revelation for those that know you, but good for you.
It's been great for my mental
Also,
health.
I know it's your first day or your first week. You want to like adjust that camera a little
I thought
bit
you
so
were
like
telling
they
me to
can
show
see.
off my shirt.
No, I do love that you're wearing the new free shirts that we got yesterday. You look terrific. Lots of team spirit.
Yeah, no. Okay.
It's okay. We're getting no. It's your first week. We're gonna teach you everything. We got you, buddy. It's all good.
The funny thing about this news breaking when Kyle was leaving is the same thing happened with Trey Lance last week too.
Man,
dude was in the parking lot and they broke the Trey Lance.
Yeah, my car was in reverse, and I got a text from Jesse like Lance got traded.
I'm glad they did it during the show.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, shout out to
that's cool for you guys.
Let's thank
That's tight.
Rock.
That's so cool.
I know the whole way driving in, I'm hearing him.
So Kenny, how does this contract affect Nick Bosa's trade value?
Oh, wait a minute. We got more.
Uh-oh.
We've got more tweets.
Uh-oh.
Stand by. Oh, this was a gem right here.
Y'all can bring up the tweets if you want to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't want Nick Bosa. I didn't want him here.
December 5th.
You didn't want him here 10 minutes ago.
No, that's not true. No, because matter of fact, because what Jesse was talking about, we'll trade him then. And what I say, Jesse?
Kenny said he won't trade him. It's not what he wants to do.
You ain't going nowhere. We're going to figure this out as a family.
December 5th, 2018 was a hell of a day for Kenny, as he also tweeted, all these mock drafts have the 49ers taking Nick Bosa with the first pick. Eye roll emoji 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Please win some games so we don't have to take this guy.
I can't remember who I really wanted. It wasn't, I said Greedy Williams.
You were a Quinnen Williams guy for sure.
No, because I'm a linebacker quarterback guy. So like in the Deshaun draft, I wanted Deshaun or Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that's your guys. And everybody's like, you got to take it. Myles Garrett. I was like, man, look, man, give me a quarterback or a middle linebacker. So I got to figure out who I really wanted in that draft. It wasn't Greedy Williams.
I'm sure we can find it, but
I'm gonna tell you who it is. I'm gonna tell you it wasn't Nick Bosa. I didn't want Nick Bosa.
Well, you got him.
Got him now, though.
You got him.
And after that first game against Tampa Bay, I was like, this boy bad.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this dude is bad.
He did that like without a training camp.
Red hat and all. That's
Didn't
a
he
bad
not
boy.
play any preseason games? Didn't he just play that?
I don't think he's ever played a preseason game, has he?
Maybe. Yeah, that might be right.
I don't think he has.
Because I remember I don't remember seeing him that rookie year until week 1 against Tampa Bay, and he was just causing havoc from like the first snap. I was like, damn, maybe he is the truth.
Good player.
All my attention, as is the case with major contracts now, will shift to Mike Florio. I think Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk do a really, really great job of breaking down the intricacies of what these deals actually look like.
Sure.
You know, the 170, the 170,
Right, up to 170,
and the 122.5.
Mhm.
What do you think this deal actually looks like?
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is a weird one to figure out, because that was, I think, the crux of our frustration was, you can fudge this to make it look like he's making $40 million a year if you wanted to.
Exactly. The 122.5 though is a huge guaranteed number for a defensive player.
Mhm.
And that probably means that the Niners wanted to do a deal, and I think this was probably the hang up. The Niners wanted to do one of those deals where they can get out of it. It's a 5-year deal, but really it's like a 3-year deal,
Right.
and they have those trap doors where they can get off the player for cheap after 2 years or 3 years.
Mhm.
And Bosa's going, no, I want that guarantee, that $122.5 million. I want that spread out, so I'm getting paid for 5 years.
Well, my guess, there is a trap door, but it's probably that 5th year.
Yes.
I don't think there's anytime
Or
you
like a
hear a
4-year
5-year deal, I don't think it's ever 5 years. I think in most cases it's 3.
Mm-hmm.
But in this sense, with
And-
Nick Bosa being what, 25 years
25,
old,
almost 26.
You're saying it's like Mahomes' $500 million deal.
No, Mahomes' $500 million deal was stupid.
It was so wild.
Like it was the most ridiculously covered contract in history. And 2, we're not too far away from, like, at some point, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes already wants to redo it. At some point, Kansas City's going to, because there's like a $50 or $60 million
That's what I'm
year in
saying.
there.
Like that's
it's
where they start renegotiating.
and then that's where
all
they
that
blow
other
it
stuff.
up and are like, oh, let's try again. Yeah, that deal was stupid. Absolutely absurd. That was like Magic Johnson's 25-year, $25 million deal that he signed back in 1981 or whatever it was.
Most total guaranteed in NFL history for a defensive lineman. Number 3, Khalil Mack, $90 million. Number 2,
Joey Bosa.
Yeah. 102.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa just got 122.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
He probably just wanted bragging rights at Thanksgiving too.
He's got it.
Definitely. He's also
Big bank,
better
tank,
than
little
Joey,
bank.
but
He's significantly better than Joey Bosa in my opinion. Did you think when you signed off at 12 o'clock today on the Insiders, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 on ESPN 1320, did you
Nice,
think
dude.
this deal was getting done?
not 102.5?
Not 102.5, not this time. We'll get you ready for that. We'll get you ready for that.
Yeah, no. The way Ian Rappaport talked about it this morning on NFL Network, where he said he's not in the building, and at this point he's probably not going to be able to play week 1. That read to me like he knew that they were really far apart and this deal wasn't happening. And so I was just like, all right, I guess they're going to have to get steamrolled by Pittsburgh for the Niners to pull the trigger, I guess.
Yeah, I envision isn't that the story with Jimmy Johnson, where after the first Cowboys Super Bowl,
Mhm.
Emmitt Smith had a holdout. They went 3 games, and I think they got beat up bad in Dallas by Buffalo. It was a Super Bowl rematch, and Jimmy Johnson storms into Jerry Jones's room and says, "God damn it, give him the money!" Like they start off like 1-2 or something like that, and Emmitt was there.
I thought that's
on
where this
Monday.
was going. I legitimately thought that's where this was going.
Oh, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
That would have been tough. Here's something that I alluded to earlier, but we haven't had the opportunity to talk about it. We're going to steal a few more minutes of Kyle's time and discuss this. I feel like the structure of Nick Bosa's year has changed dramatically because if Nick Bosa signs a 170, 122.5 guaranteed deal 2 months ago and gets hurt in week number 2, damn it, sucks. It's man,
Yeah.
it's too bad. It sucks playing without Nick Bosa. You move on. Nick Bosa signs $170 million, $122.5 million guaranteed contract today. Gets hurt in week 2. That conversation is very, very, very different than if he had signed that deal two months ago.
He could get hurt. He could struggle. Anything that goes sideways a little bit for Nick Bosa this year, it's gonna be like, man, what if he had a full training camp? What if he had half a training camp?
Yeah.
What if he had one extra practice?
Right. What if he had one single practice?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, even all that, and I agree with both you guys on that, but just, hey, it's what happens in sports. You know, I try not to do it. I don't really, we pocket watch, but once you got the bag, like, cool, you got the bag. I'm not really.
Now just get Kyle familiar with the music, just so we know.
Once that happens, you got the bag. But there will be people, if he starts slow,
Mhm.
get in. We paying you all this money.
Oh yeah.
And this how you what we paying for?
That's I'm sorry, sir. How much did you contribute to Nick Bosa's contract?
Well, that's kind of the thing now, though, is this is inevitably going to mean, if my understanding of where the 49ers are cap-wise, this is going to mean that they're going to have to let some people go here over the next offseason or 2 offseasons.
Who are you thinking?
Eric Armstead, George Kittle,
and
Kyle Juszczyk, maybe.
Kyle just says it.
Yeah, he does,
we try to avoid saying it. Kyle just comes out, well, Eric Armstead first. We all kind of knew that Eric was probably
Kittle's the other one.
Maybe he reworks his deal to take less money and stay there and be a 10-year guy. And
repeat that.
Kittle is the guy that I thought about.
That was another one.
Kittle's on the other side.
He is
right.
He is. Kittle might not even play on Sunday. It's another year of him.
I think he's gonna play.
I think he will too, but it's still
he's been banged up for sure.
Is it?
Yeah, Kittle's another guy though.
Is it foul to say or wrong? Because you guys are the experts. I'm just a fan. I'd rather see them lose Kittle than Eric Armstead. Because I just don't think
Kittle's tough, man. That's tough.
I got you.
Because I love Eric, but man, I love Kittle, man.
I know. I just don't know that George.
man.
I don't think George is that dude anymore, though.
11 touchdowns.
I don't think he's bad. Yeah, I don't think he's okay. Well, let's go. Daniel. By the way, Daniel threw something when he got that notification earlier. Our man Daniel. He broke. Hey, Daniel, how you feeling? Oh, okay. There goes his sliding glass door. But he brought up the Patriots. You get rid of a player a year too early rather than a year too late.
If he's not willing to negotiate something. If he's willing to work with you, I think you keep him around. But if not,
my whole thing with Kittle and Armstead, I got to see what Armstead looks like next to Javon Hargrave, because if he looks like what he looked like next to DeForest Buckner, then maybe my mind changes. I tend to lean towards keeping defensive players, though, productive defensive players, because I think Kyle Shanahan can coach around the absence of George Kittle. I think they have enough weapons that if, George Kittle's not on the team anymore, the offense is going to look different, but I think you can figure it out. They just spent 2 draft picks on tight ends. Like, they're gearing up to not have George Kittle anymore. But if Eric Armstead comes out and just kind of has a so-so year, especially from a pass rushing perspective, and Kittle puts up 10 touchdowns again, then it's not really a contest for me the other way.
And you agree with me where I say Ayuk is not an option. Like, I hear people throwing around like, how are you going to sign Ayuk? No, we're signing Ayuk. Even if we got to franchise him, it's not an option that Ayuk isn't around, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe. I think it depends a little bit. I think their hope is that Debo has like a big bounce back year this year and looks like Debo Samuel from a couple years ago. I looked this up the other night. In 2021, he had 12 receptions of 30 or more yards. He had 2 last year, Debo. So I don't think they need a bounce back from him, 1,700 yards and 14 touchdowns, but to be that big play guy so they can trade Debo for something of value and then sign Ayuk. I think that's probably their hope. Because I don't think
heard about that too, about Debo being the man out.
Yeah. It's hard when you have this many good players on an NFL roster.
Yeah, probably, perspective is important. This sucks, but it's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
Like, you have really talented players who you have arguably the most talented roster in the entire league. And you have a a wide range of players who have earned, higher end salaries because of their play.
So here's the funny the funny situation. Shout out to TC and everybody else like that. If they would have kept Trey Lance, would it not have been a Super Bowl or bust season? Because people were like, once they got rid of him, oh, you better win the Super Bowl now, Kyle.
Dude,
you
that's
better win it now. Like,
no, that's
no,
it. That's
already what it was.
I agree. I'm so with you. Like, oh, he tied his wagon to Brock Purdy. You got to go win one. Okay, like, we were there, man.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't George Kittle, Eric Armstead, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa that put the pressure on them to go win a Super Bowl. It was Trey Lance and Brock Purdy.
No,
that's people podding. Like, people be podding in real life. Like, hey, guys, settle down.
Podding in real life.
Settle down.
Put that on the shirt.
Podding in real life.
Real life pods.
Yeah. No, I mean, this team. We talk about windows in the NFL, and we look at the last two NFC Championship games this year. Talk about the window, like they're in the midst of the window. In actuality, they're probably 5 years into the window. I mean, because you got 2019, then you got 2020, and then you got these last 2 years. 3 of the last 4 NFC Championship games, the Super Bowl, and that. Usually, the window for Super Bowl caliber teams is about 5 years max. They're on the 5th year.
Yeah, unless you have like an
elite
quarterback.
Right.
But there's only a couple of those guys in the league. Yeah, I'm with you. The fact that it's been since 2019, they've been contenders outside of 2020. Like, that's pretty impressive. And this is the point, and I think they understand what you're saying here, and that's why they went all in with Javon Hargrave, and they're giving Nick Bosa all this money, and they're like, all right, like, this is the year. There's this year and maybe next year, depending on how some things shake out. And then what does it look like after that? But if you're constantly worried about what does it look like in 2 or 3 years, you're never going to get it done in now.
Right.
If you're constantly worried about the next couple of years.
And you guys heard me talk about it after all this news broke. I've said it a number of different times. This is probably the first year in this run, and since I've got this radio show. And this is the Niners Super Bowl year. This is it.
You've picked them every year we've done this show.
I picked them to get, but what have I always said though? I've been like, I can see it. They have the talent, all this other, stay healthy, all this other stuff. To me, they're the Super Bowl favorites, above Kansas City, above Philadelphia. This is the best team in football. This is the best team of. They got to win a Super Bowl this year.
I think those two statements can be mutually exclusive. They got to win a Super Bowl this year. I agree with you there. I don't think it's the end of the world if they don't.
It's not the end of the world.
But we're nearing it.
This is one of
I think we're nearing the end of the respective 49ers world if they don't win the Super Bowl.
I think this is the best opportunity they've had in 5 years.
I don't disagree with that.
I think I agree.
I do think they're better than Philadelphia, but I'm going to give the Super Bowl champions, who still have the greatest quarterback that ever existed on their team, allegedly.
I'm personally not ready to put him above Philly yet. I think there's another level for Jalen Hurts. And that
I hope you're right in that regard. I absolutely hope you're right in that regard.
But they're right there. Like, this is the first time I've gone into a year like, oh, if they won it this year, it wouldn't be like they should, because it's hard to say they should. But
it's a one game situation.
Before it was like, man, I don't know if Jimmy, I don't know. Now it's like, you know what? I feel really good about this team going into this year. And I never feel good about the 49ers going into a year.
One of the early D'Lo and KC moments was in 2020. Remember,
one of our original social media clips. I know exactly what you're going to say.
I said they had the best roster in football.
Yeah, I remember. It's out there on as one of our original social media clips.
And everybody got hurt.
Yep.
This year, I think they got the best roster in football. Like I said, I thought they could win the Super Bowl these last 2 years or whatever. There were still questions whether it was at running back, playmakers. I know the year Debo went crazy. I came back the next. I was like, man, they need either a running back so he doesn't have to run all the time, or a wide receiver so he can be a running back. They needed another piece here and there. Right now, I don't feel like they need another piece. I think they got everything they need to win. This is the best opportunity they've had in the Kyle Shanahan era to win a Super Bowl.
Who's the 15th best quarterback in the league to you? 16th. Sorry. Math.
I don't know.
Just off the top of my head, is Jimmy Garoppolo or Kirk Cousins?
Okay, Kirk Cousins
Sounds
was the
right.
name I had in mind.
Yeah.
I think if they had Kirk Cousins instead of Brock Purdy, I think there would be a much different conversation about the 49ers. Because the quarterback position is just so vital and so important that you look at Brock Purdy and go, like that roster's really good, but and I think that's why you see the Niners as I think they're the number 2 team in betting odds to come out of the NFC. But they're typically like 4th, 5th, or 6th, depending on for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think if, like I said, they had Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, I think they'd be up there, maybe above Philly.
Tremendous full circle moment here. Wow. Look at the gap, first of all, in this man's teeth. Look at this social media clip right here. Holy crap, this is trash.
That looks and sounds like it came out of 1967.
Dated August 31st, 2020. Kenny Caraway talking about the best roster. And then follow up. Chris Biederman. I don't want to get Chris Biederman in trouble.
No, get him out of here. No, get him out of here. He does not. No, he's dead to me.
Hey, bro.
No. Somebody
man
tweeted me today.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
No, but, hey,
don't do
be
that.
careful, big dog.
Y'all want to see? Oh, this is a damn shame. September 1st. This is awful. But I'm gonna point it out for everybody. Look at this clip, and then look at when your boy pop up on the screen. Now hold on, wait for it. I'm gonna tell everybody on the radio wearing the same goddamn shirt. That's the same goddamn. This is September 1st.
Hey! We get to September 1, and Damien's like, "Yep, about that time. About that time with the camo jacket."
It's that time of year.
That is wild. Wow. How funny is this stretch of social media clips, though? Clearly by my attire the same day.
I wasn't even at the couch yet.
The next social media post is titled, James Harden's points are useless. Boy, not much has changed in 3 years.
Hey, that's a good take. That's a good take.
I can't believe I got the same shirt on. Unbelievable.
Soren Smith, Monty McNair's vest meet Damien's camo jacket.
That's incredible.
Starbucks puts out the pumpkin spice latte, and Damien's like, I know what time it is.
Hey, man,
Well,
Invisalign was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I wish I did this at like 13.
I know what's going to Goodwill. Show's over.
Yeah, you can't wear that jacket probably no more than 2 years from now.
Hey, I can't wear it in September ever again. I know that.
We got a little breaking news.
All right. Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is out on Sunday. And that's only really breaking news because I don't think he's going to play week 2 either.
Right.
Yeah, he might be cooked.
Schefter said he might hit IR.
You see a body specialist? He's like, just check this whole thing. Hey, guys, for Halloween this year, I think we all got to come in camo jackets.
All right. That's good. That's fine.
All right, I'm pulling up.
Why don't you can go home now.
Yes.
You can go home. Thank you. Kyle Madsen, James Ham, the Insiders, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on ESPN 1320. We'll come back. We'll talk more about camo jackets and bubble vest and Nick Bosa signing his contract with the San Francisco 49ers. That's here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. Absolutely incredible.
Yes, sir.
How much camouflage is in Nick Bosa's closet?
Oh, my God.
So much.
Oh, my God.
It's camouflage and salute to service NFL gear.
I think he went to the NFL and said, I'm holding out if you don't get rid of that end racism sign in the.
That was the X
What's it say now? Play football?
Yeah. Yeah.
The NFL did it.
Pay Nick Bosa is what it says.
I can't in good conscience play in a league that is this divisive.
I just want to shut up and play. My main man. All right, family. Good stuff today, man. Kyle Madsen, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Madsen. I didn't even have a chance to eat my snacks today. What a day, Jesse. What a day. And it's only 1:30.
Just another time where a team listens to the show. Always happens.
Bro, like we're low-key running sports now. We got leagues, teams,
uniform changes.
Come on, man.
Very good, very good. I don't even know what this is in context to, but it's making me laugh. Thanks, bye. Oh man, tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
Y'all putting that Nick Bosa tweet out there, the old takes exposed, like I give a damn. I'll tell you I didn't want Nick Bosa. Ain't doing nothing to me.
It's okay to be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah, I saw that man against Tampa Bay. I said, damn. He is that dude. Remember, the other funny thing about Nick Bosa is he didn't, what did he play, 2 games that last year at Ohio State?
Yeah, like 2
he
or 3.
Got hurt,
and they basically said, don't come back.
Yeah.
Do not come back.
Yeah.
And still was what, 2?
Yeah.
2? How far were the 49ers from the first pick? Do you remember? I don't remember what their record was that year.
They were. Was that the Jimmy year? No, it wasn't the Jimmy year.
It had to have been.
Jimmy got hurt.
Yeah, it had to have been.
I was thinking if it was the year that Jimmy came and they won their final 5 games, but it was the
No, because the next year was the year they went nuts, right?
Yeah. My first thought is probably like 4 wins. They might have 4 wins.
By the way, I was podding yesterday. I didn't think The Rock's overrated. I do, however, think The Rock stuff is hokey. Okay. Oh man, what a day!
Bump that Faith Evans. Let's go.
I got something. I got something regarding Faith. I think you'd like.
Okay.
Do you have a room? Like, do you have stuff? Do you hang stuff anywhere? I have this jersey. It's a big jersey. It's a BIG jersey. It's autographed by Faith.
Wow.
But it's literally in a box. And like, I know how much you love Faith. I was like, man, maybe Kenny would like this.
Yeah,
like, it's just a waste in a box.
Yeah, I'll find a place for it. Absolutely.
And I got a place for Sky River Casino. A lot jumping off, as there always is over there all September long. Select Mondays in September from 12 to 8. They got the kickoff mystery swipe and win where you can earn 250 tier credits, then swipe and win free play and dining credits. It's a great little setup. If you're not a member at Sky River Casino, join today and they'll give you $20 in free play. And as the NFL season approaches, 32 Brew Street.
Oh, it's going to be jumping on Sunday morning.
70 TV screens for you to watch your favorite football team and make your plans to be with us. One of the biggest days in the history of D-Lo and KC. September 21st, we'll be doing a live broadcast at Sky River Casino from noon to 4. We'll be hanging around watching the San Francisco 49ers open their home portion of their schedule. And that's on Thursday Night Football. And then we'll make our way over to the Golden One Center.
G1C, straight to the club.
And we're hosting the Straight to the Club tour with YG, Tyga, and Sweetie. So that's September 21st. Make your plans to be with us for a live broadcast at 32 Brew Street inside Sky River Casino.
Hey, I'm definitely pulling up to 32 Brew Street during the football season.
I mean, yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah,
my goodness.
That vibe is that vibe is going to be so. Yeah. Like we watched a playoff game there. Oh my God, that was fire. That was so much fun.
Crazy.
It was the Harrison Barnes game.
Yep.
Poor Will. I was like hanging on Will's shoulders on that last shot. Like I think we're both like I think he's sitting down and I'm like squatted behind him and I'm just like waiting because I know we going viral if this shot goes in. And then we got to get to the stage.
Yeah.
So I'm right behind Will, and I was, and had to comfort each other and keep it moving. Listen to the Warrior fans that were there.
Once they got the rebound and called a timeout, I found Leezy. I said, Leezy, get over here, bro, because it's about to go down. Like, get over here.
We going viral.
It did not go down.
It did not.
I vaguely went down memory lane randomly last night on YouTube, just watching footage of what they call it, 916 something during the playoffs. We didn't get to experience this at all because we were inside the building, blessed to be inside the building.
Yeah.
Or we had watch parties. But that scene outside the Golden One Center, so many people, they at the watch party with the things on the parking garage. So many people on L Street, and basically from the parking garage up to the pig. What is that, a pig or a bunny rabbit?
I think it's a
I
rabbit.
don't know. I don't think it's a pig.
It might be a piglet.
Why does Sacramento have all these weird creatures around there?
I don't know.
It's fancy.
I don't know. But my whole point being filled with people watching those games. It seemed like a really cool thing. Like I said, very, very fortunate to be able to attend all those games and have the watch parties. But if I didn't have either one of those things going, that seemed like a vibe out there.
You know what I'm really fortunate to have experienced? I've been traveling a lot lately, and I haven't once taken a picture of that stupid rabbit at the airport.
Well, you've got to do better.
No, I just want to set an example for people. It can be done.
No.
You can travel without taking a picture of that stupid rabbit.
Don't listen to this, man. When you come back to Sac, you're not home until you take a picture of that rabbit.
Where am I right now?
I don't know. Are you here or are you not? I don't know.
I'm right here.
I don't know.
You was hoping ESPN would lose more games so they didn't have to draft my ass.
Hey, you fly Delta?
Bruh. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop it.
A lot. You already been on Delta.
Man, I think I was on Delta. Yeah, I was on Delta for the big trip. Yeah, I took Southwest to Vegas, but yeah. Bruh, that Delta story is wild. Absolutely wild. Jesse, you know the Delta story?
I think it's just the computer stopped working, right?
No, bro. No, bro. No, bro.
Wait.
No, bro.
I think I saw another Delta story. Was it when someone had an incident and they I seen that. I would have sued.
All the way through the plane.
as Rob Dub says, that Delta plane was not the place to be.
Bro, can you imagine? Because that's just all air, like just filtering in.
Just recycled it.
Oh, man.
Bro, I would have started crying. Like, please stop.
Hey, man. Hey.
Sorry said they were serving Chipotle.
Oh, no.
Y'all better get out of them Starbucks lines and stop playing.
How embarrassing.
Oh, so bad.
You can't fly after that.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You think they took like that person's ID, like just earmarked who they were?
Man,
and
come on, man. That's embarrassing.
First of all, I'm sorry for the individual. I don't imagine that was pleasant for them either. But oh god.
But can you imagine the moment he gets to the bathroom door and it's locked?
Oh god.
Just what's racing through his head at that point.
Oh, that's such a bad story.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is such a bad story. And like, how do you, I don't know, like, how do you, like, you got to clean the plane had to take off and get to its, and it wasn't like it was Atlanta.
Oof.
It wasn't Atlanta to, Florida.
No, it was
Barcelona.
Bro, they were over the Atlantic and had to turn around.
I might have been, bro, just taking into the water. Just do it. Like, come on, man. It ain't worth it. Can you imagine being like 2 hours into a flight? You're over the Atlantic and they're like, hey, we're going to turn around. This is a little nasty. Like, we're driving 2 hours back. We're flying 2 hours back.
2 hours into the 8-hour flight, the aircraft was flying over Virginia when the passenger experienced a quote unquote medical issue in front of passengers in the cabin.
Why Kamara say? What if he was traveling with a shorty? Like, okay, like what do you do? Now let's go.
Wow.
Man, why can't we do this on KSFM? Let's go a step further. What if it's like your husband?
Oh. Hey man.
By the way, we're assuming it's a man.
Yeah.
I don't think we know if it was a man or we're assuming it's a man.
Charlie just confirmed it was a man.
It was a man. Well, okay, Charlie knows.
Guy. I mean, that's.
But like, what if his wife's on the plane? Like, if you're his wife, do you?
No, you don't walk with him. And
that man got to lead the plane by himself.
If I'm the man, I'm not putting her in that situation. You don't know me right now, honey. It's okay. It's okay.
I just happen to be sitting in, 3B right next to you.
Well, nobody knows where I was sitting because I had to run it up and down the aisle.
If anything, wife's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, can you guys believe what this guy just did?" I mean, imagine she's not on the plane. She's like, "Oh, hey, babe, are you like you guys almost like flying home or whatever?" Oh, we had to go back. Poop myself.
That's like
how do you even tell that story?
Man, that's somebody gave him what's the movie? Bridesmaids.
Oh, the Korean barbecue. Yeah, they had Korean. They went to get some Korean barbecue.
She was in her wedding dress in the middle of the street.
Oh no. She said, "Oh no, it's happening. It's happening." Let me tell you, okay. All right. Who decided they needed to film that?
Well,
who saw that incident happen going, I'm going to record this moment and keep it on my hard drive?
It was probably an employee.
And two,
I think that was somebody like with the company. They had to do it like for evidence purposes because there was nobody on the plane. All the seats were empty. So
it could have been someone walking out.
Maybe. That's disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
I got so many questions, bro. About this.
Man, so many.
Like, what happens to the dude's pants and stuff like that?
Like what?
You just sitting there marinating in it?
Does anyone help him? Like, there's luggage everywhere. There's literally luggage all over the place.
Bro, how am I gonna get my carry-on, man?
Bro, you gotta put him with the luggage,
joint, man. I can't without stepping in something. How am I gonna get to it, man?
Does anyone say help the Brody out? Like somebody give him something to wear?
and the ultimate, when he has to get up to the front and walk off that plane.
Oh,
like is he going down in the little tunnel area? Is he going off to the side?
Yeah,
and even if it goes off to the side, like there's no hiding there.
You got
in plain sight.
You
got
the
entire terminal to see.
You got to do the joint where you pull out the tarmac. That's the stairs.
Yeah,
and you walk to the outside. Like you can't walk into the airport like that.
I know, but even then, everybody see you. Think about where you're at in the terminal. Like you look out the window, you see all the planes, everybody out there. He's just walking around trailing stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Somebody had to have helped my man out.
I don't think so, because if you're not my family, I'm not helping you out.
Yeah,
I'm not giving you an extra pair of pants, bro.
All right.
It's gonna be the biggest walk of shame of all time.
Oh God. So bad.
Oh man.
So bad. Okay.
Kyle Shanahan spoke earlier about Nick Bosa signing an all-time record contract.
We'll come back. We'll talk more about Nick Bosa. We'll talk more about the NFL. We got our four in, four out. Yeah. Oh, James Ham coming up.
4 out. More than 4 out.
Will you stop? Steelo and KC brought to you by Sky River Casino here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. That segment was the shits. Oh man. Oh man.
Lord have mercy.
Brian said that wasn't a commercial break. Nah, that's what we do to get people to watch us. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so funny. What's worse, plane poop or courtside vomit? Oh, plane poop, easily. Not even close. Yeah, Blake, you wild for that. Thank you, Rachel. I knew. Oh, the airline asked, like, does anyone have a pair of pants they don't really want anymore?
They should have just went to the gift shop. Oh, they had to
But
do
there
that
was on the
plane.
air.
And the air they asked them.
In the air.
Come on, man. Hey, that poor man.
Poor dude walking up to the gift shop. Can I get some pants? And
Poor man.
He just stinks.
An I love Sacramento t-shirt.
The worst part is, like, it's not even kept between you and the people on that plane. Like, all Twitter knows about it.
Oh, everybody.
That was crazy.
Everybody.
There was so much. Like, how?
All the way through the plane.
Hey, I don't know if I'm asking. I'm not reporting. Did Draymond really punch somebody over the weekend?
I think that was fake. Yeah,
I thought so too.
But
fake. Then they had the little TMZ sport. I was like, what?
No, it was fake.
Yo, somebody need to get that's where you need to be able to sue somebody. You can't be having that out there like that.
So, okay. I'm sorry. I have another question.
I don't think we're done with this.
When the plane turned around, did the guy get back on it? He still had to go to Barcelona.
Yeah, well, he better find another plane if I'm getting on.
Yeah, you got to get on a completely different plane with like different people. Like, you guys can't know who I am. Like, you're not gonna be calling me the poo-poo man and stuff.
You can't, because everyone would look at you sideways if you like ate something. Like, no, he don't want no peanuts, and don't give his ass no coffee.
Imagine going to your seat and there are people already sitting there or whatever next to you and stuff. Those people would be like, "Oh gosh, you're sitting here."
Oh man,
he's got to drive everywhere he goes now.
Yo, I found it. I just posed a question during the commercial break, and I found the answer.
Uh-oh.
Maintenance crew spent 5 hours cleaning the Delta Airlines Airbus A350 after its enforced early landing, including replacing an aisle carpet ruined in the incident.
Oh, man.
Passengers, reportedly including the one suffering diarrhea, were allowed to reboard after an 8-hour delay, making it to Barcelona. I asked the question during the break, did the guy get back on the plane? He still needed to get to Barcelona. And I found an article that says he in fact did.
Yeah, no, man. Mutually, I don't want you on the plane, and I wouldn't want to get on the plane.
That had to be the longest flight of that person's life. That had to be the worst that had to be the worst stretch of like 12 hours that individual ever experienced.
That poor man.
I feel bad for the people who had to clean it. Like, imagine your boss goes up to you, "Hey, Steve, guy pooped in the plane. Need you to go handle it."
And he'd be like, "Man, all right, man. Let me just pick it up real quick." No, like all through the plane. What you mean all through the plane?
Let me also be clear. This was a flight out of Atlanta. I rolled with some of the Delta crews out of Atlanta before. Ain't no Steve in that bunch. That conversation went a whole lot differently than Jesse just said it did.
I feel like you got to quit at that point if you're the worker. They're like, "Hey, we need you to clean this up." Nah, I'm good.
Bro, there was so much. Like, that was crazy.
Wait, you guys, there was like play-by-play of this? There's video or what?
No, I don't think there's video of the moment in question. I think there's video of the aftermath.
Yeah. The aftermath is, oh man.
Maybe everybody just gathered around and joked about it. Like, maybe my guy, maybe he did the Michael Scott when he fell in the koi pond and just told jokes about himself to like ease the tension there as everybody was waiting to reboard the plane and get to Barcelona.
This is crazy. This video, it's at least 7 rows straight of, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back on track here. I can't believe. Hey, shout out to my man who got back on the plane, head held high, and got to his destination.
Like, it's whatever. What?
So does this go on the September Twitter calendar for the biggest moment?
I was going to ask that. Yeah, this is on the calendar. It's in the lead for the calendar of 2023.
What's in the lead?
Of the story of the month. Remember we had
incidents,
Sean and Blueface, and we had John there a couple times. Then we had this blankety blank is not real. You know, every month there's always something. This is in the lead right now, and you'd have to do a lot to overtake this one.
Yeah, this is one.
Does the Alabama boats, is that still the
Oh,
top
no.
thing of the year? Or
Alabama
is this
boats.
overtaken?
Alabama is
Well, what's the story of the year right now?
Oh, it might be the Alabama
It's
boats.
Alabama boat.
It might be the Alabama
I
boats.
mean, they had merch.
Yeah, they like a white folding chair is now like iconic.
Walmart was driving up the prices on those chairs.
Oh, Polo, that's good. The Trump mugshot.
Oh, the Trump mugshot is up there.
I think this surpassed it this month, though. I think this is
The Delta plane over Trump's mugshot.
I think so.
I don't know. Rudy's mugshot was more top tier than Trump's was.
Wasn't Trump's also on like a Friday night?
The
Yeah,
Friday news dumped it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Man,
just wait till the trial starts. I'm sure there'll be
goodness gracious.
There'll be plenty there for people to talk about.
Boy, oh boy.
Shout out to Breonna Stewart.
Stewie.
She set the single season WNBA scoring record after scoring 40 against the Dallas Wings last night. New York 31-7. Las Vegas 32-6. Y'all was ready to give the Aces their second title in a row. Y'all better watch out for these Liberty. Y'all better watch.
Say it with your chest.
Asia.
Say the Liberty are gonna win it all.
I don't think the Liberty are going to win it all. I say y'all was too quick to dismiss them.
I'm not
Y'all
dismissing them, but
turned your nose up every time I said something about the New York Liberty. Oh, they ain't the Aces. That was a good team.
But when they beat the hell out of them the first time, I came back. I said that was a little statement. Then they beat them 2 more times.
They did. Yeah, they got.
I'd still pick the Aces to win, though.
I think so too. But I do want to point out Stewie, Asia, and Alyssa Thomas are having phenomenal seasons.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal seasons. Like Alyssa's doing things that haven't been done in the league before. Clearly, Stewie is as well.
Yeah.
Asia is one of the baddest we've ever seen. Connecticut, sneaky handling business. No one's paying attention to them because of the Aces and because of the Liberty. But the Connecticut Sun, they doing work.
And that 1 seed, if I have everything set up the right way, 1 seed is going to be vital because you won't have to see Connecticut in that semifinal.
Yep.
And I don't know if they can beat either one of those 2 teams, but they gonna make you work. So I think both the Liberty and the Aces are gonna be going hard for that 1 seed because of something like that. Because who's the 4th team in the league?
The 4th team, as it stands right now, is Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas gets swept by either one of those 2.
Right now, it's the Aces, the Liberty, the Sun at 26-12. Then you got the Dallas Wings at 20-18.
Isn't Minnesota in there?
Minnesota's 19-19, and Washington is going to qualify despite all that they've been through. 2 games under 500 right now. Shout out to Eric Tebow and that group for literally fighting through everything to try to grab a playoff spot. Yeah, not too far away at all. Not too far away at all. If you're just tuning in, Nick Bosa signs a massive deal with the San Francisco 49ers, due for $122 million. We heard probably the most entertaining Kyle Shanahan press conference in history earlier, where he said he believes Nick Bosa's going to play. Also says he doesn't know where Nick Bosa's at. I actually am inclined to believe him when he says that. But Nick Bosa probably going to play on Sunday when the 49ers kick off their season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, interesting. Give me a second to weed through this. No. I'm trying to figure out if Mike Florio made a typo or what this means. Bosa's 5-year it's a 5-year extension. I forgot he has a year left. It's a 5-year extension, 170 coupled with the 18.9. The 6-year deal has a value of 188.9. Okay, so the extension is worth $34 million, including the year that he had $34 million per year in new money. And with the 5th year of his rookie deal, it's 31.4 over the full length of the contract. But again, all anyone is focused on is the extension. I thought Florio would have a more detailed breakdown. He just kind of threw in the last year, and the different number kind of threw me off. So forgive me for that. Not really news there, just math. Shout out to Mike Florio for doing the math.
Good job, Tim. I'm much like everybody else, with the 49er fan base, the media. I don't really care about next year. I'm not worried about that. But I am anxious to see how this plays out. Because
in what regard? You talking about the salary cap?
Yeah. It's they're gonna have to, do some things to make all this work. Maybe get some people to, take some team-friendly deals to stick around.
Well, this could be an important note. Jesse just sent to this from Tom Pelissero. Nick Bosa's mega deal with the 49ers includes $50 million signing bonus. That's another record for a defensive player. So the $50 million signing bonus, that doesn't mean that's the money guaranteed at signing. That means some of this money is allotted to a signing bonus. Signing bonuses work differently than salaries and some of the different incentives. You'll often hear, like, there's a story we're probably not going to do today. There's really nothing to say about it. The Raiders somehow reconstructed Jimmy Garoppolo's contract to save $17 million. From Mike Florio to Ian Rappaport to everybody who usually has these contract breakdowns, no one knows how they did it. But they did it. Yeah. A lot of time, and I'm not saying this is the case with Jimmy Garoppolo. I do not know. But a lot of time when you see a restructure, some of like a salary is like made like a bonus somehow. I don't know how they get away with doing that, but they seem to do it every single year. That $50 million could play a really, really important component into who the 49ers are able to keep next year. There could also be a situation where the Dak Prescott thing, there could be a situation where Nick Bosa makes with the $50 million and we'll, for argument's sake, say $31.4 million this year. We'll or 31.7, where Nick Bosa could make $81 million this year, $82 million this year.
Okay.
And 25 next year. Like there's again there's ways to kind of fake your way through this if you're the 49ers and the Nick Bosa. Either way, Nick Bosa is getting his money.
Yep.
And he's getting the average annual value that he wanted. He's getting the signing bonus that he wanted. But there are ways that this could be done to help the 49ers out when it comes to Eric Armstead, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, all of the different players that we talked about earlier.
And they've got a guy in Parag Marate who has done a phenomenal job with the cap and with contract situations for a long time now. So if there's a way to finagle some money, to work around some things to make it work where you still have money freed up to sign other guys and keep as much of this team together as you can, I'm confident that Parag is going to find a way. He's really good at this. and has been really good at this for some time now. So we'll see, but it'll be a lot easier to say goodbye to some people who are key members of this team after a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like if Juszczyk has to go, if Armstead has to go, let's get one with him.
Yeah, let's talk about something. Another note that I thought came out of Kyle Shanahan's press conference, and let's also mention this: we have fun with Kenny's Twitter account all of the time because it's fun and it's like for our show. I'll state this for the record: I think that old Takes Exposed account is trash. I think they're absolute ass. Like, this is what we do.
Right.
Literally what we do. And an account created to just like tweet this stuff out like in a malicious intent is kind of weak to me.
Yeah.
So I look at Freezing Cold Takes like, hey, stay at a family business. And thank you for quieting down your computer. It's always jarring when it stops making that noise because it's like, wow, it just felt really silent in here. Your computer's a heavier breather than Kyle Shanahan is. He was asked and answered about the captains. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned two of them. Mm-hmm. Eric Armstead, George Kittle, Debo, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, and the quarterback, Brock Purdy. Any thoughts on that?
No, that sounds about right. I'm trying to think of if there's anybody I'm missing that probably could be or should be.
Christian McCaffrey's not on there. Nick Bosa's not on there.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm just naming the other great players on the team, not necessarily trying to, proclaim who's leaders. But when I think of leaders, I think of Fred Warner first, Eric Armstead, Trent Williams. Those are the guys who immediately come to mind. Know how well George Kittle is liked.
Yeah.
I think this was something that was important to Debo. I think Debo is absolutely a leader. Debo he takes accountability quick. Debo said he had a trash season last year, which I didn't think he had a trash season, but
I think trash is a little hard, but he took a step back last year from where he was before. I think last year he was really just a playmaker, just a home run hitter, as opposed to the year before where he was a home run hitter and he could get you, a big catch on 3rd and 9 and get 12. Like he was the best version of himself the year before. Last year, not that he was bad, but I didn't think he had the same overall impact. But he had a lot going on over the summer. He had a contract situation and never really could get in the groove. I know he had an injury at the end of the season.
Oh, a contract situation, never really got in the groove.
And that's one of the concerns about Nick Bosa. It's one of the concerns.
Man, he is under a microscope, man. Not that he wasn't going to be regardless of when he signed the deal. I just think the closer and closer and closer you get to week 1 to signing this deal, the bigger that microscope becomes.
Hey, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, you better perform. You better. You had all this drama. You held out. And here's the other thing about it. You got everything you wanted. That's what it seems like. Mm-hmm. We don't know for sure. But it seems like you got everything you wanted. They gave you the money. They gave you all the guarantees. You better perform. That's what some people are going to say. I try to stay away from all that stuff because, I mean, Nick Bosa's effort and, preparation has never been questioned. I don't think that'll be the case. If he doesn't perform or isn't as good statistically as he was last year, I don't think it's because he got money.
He was the defensive player of the year last year.
Right.
Let's be careful.
He probably won't perform.
Yeah. Let's and I mean he might, but let's also be careful of where we put our expectations. I expect Nick Bosa to be really good. Mm-hmm. I think winning awards multiple years in a row is difficult. Mm-hmm. However, with Steve Wilkes, who I believe is a very good defensive coordinator, and this defense as a whole,
Mhm.
I absolutely believe he has the ability to win that award again.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. We got 4 in, 4 out on the way. You're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento 98.5 FM, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. We appreciate those tapping in here on 1320 TV, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. As a reminder, if you've been tapped out for a little while, you just tuned in because of the 49ers news, or you've been moving and grooving and didn't know, we got the Insiders on the air Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Insiders with Kyle Madsen and James Ham. Kyle Madsen, who joined us immediately following the Nick Bosa signing, and James Ham, who's going to join us in about 55 minutes. Yeah, it's fun. One thing I really love about this is, like, we know this. I think people who listen to this show regularly know this.
Mm-hmm.
James is our Kings insider. Like, he is the cream of the crop.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to covering the Sacramento Kings. But he loves all sports.
Yeah.
So it's fun now watching James tweet about Nick Bosa. Like, James's Twitter account, occasionally you get a picture of the lake and you get King stuff. But seeing James tweet about his other interests now, because he has a job that covers all sports, is a lot of fun. And it's an opportunity for you to find out what many of us already know, and that's that James is very, very fluent in a variety of different sports. Just it's the same with Kyle Madsen. Kyle is phenomenal on Candlestick Chronicles. He's phenomenal covering the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And man loves the NBA. He loves the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to see those guys get to cover these. I saw James tweet about Nick Bosa earlier. I was like, oh, all right, Hammer. There we go.
Yeah.
We got 4 in, 4 out coming up in about 15 minutes. That's always the toughest conversation of the entire year. 4 teams that made the playoffs last year won't this year. It is a scientific fact. It is math, undeniable. It's going to happen.
I got a bone to pick with that too, by the way. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Well, okay, you can pick a bone if you want to, because you picked a bone last year.
How many? How would I get? How many?
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4.
So I think we both you got all 4 right. No, yeah, the teams that were missing the playoffs, you got all 4 of those right. I think I got 3 or 4 because I went super hot take on everyone and I threw the Bengals in. But you had the Raiders, the Patriots, the Cardinals, and the Titans out. All 4 of them missed the playoffs. I had the Steelers, the Patriots, the Cardinals, and for reasons known to absolutely no one, the Bengals. I thought they were going to fall off. You had the Saints, Ravens, Dolphins, and Colts.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was tough.
Colts are awful.
That's okay. It gets worse.
I don't even like the Colts.
I had the Panthers, #BakerMania. We actually had the same teams right in the Ravens and the Dolphins, and I had the Broncos in. So we were both 2 of 4 in terms of who's in. You were 4 of 4, who's out.
So in last year,
and you know what note you put next to this?
What's that?
And I remember you saying it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You wrote in your note column, this was insanely tough. And I remember you said, this isn't going to happen. I was like, it's going to happen. It happens every year. And I put it's in our notes for this year. Last year, the Titans, Raiders, Patriots, Steelers, Rams, Cardinals, and Packers. 7 teams. That's 7 teams that made the playoffs in 2021 didn't last year. The minimum number, I believe, and I got this from Trey Wingo. I stole this whole bit from Trey Wingo. To be fair, he gave it to me, but I did steal it from him. Trey told me since the inception of the wild card format, before they changed it. Yeah, thank you. It's a minimum of 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's often a lot more, as was the case, last year, but it's a minimum of 4 teams.
I'm gonna say it again. I don't think it happens this year. I think this is the year it doesn't happen.
So you're saying something that's literally never happened before is going to happen this year?
craziest thing.
With extra playoff games or teams, extra playoff
That's what makes
teams.
me think that it won't happen. The
Yeah, that
extra
makes it
playoff
tougher.
game.
Yeah, it makes it
Or
tougher.
extra
But
playoff team.
they had it last year.
I know. You're right. You're right.
It's always there's going to be someone that we don't expect to fall off.
Yeah. The crazy thing.
I haven't the true story. I mean, everyone knows. Everyone in the room knows it. I haven't decided who the fourth team is. That's a shoot. I put 3 teams in our notes.
Yeah.
And left the fourth one out because I'm deciding between 2 teams.
And the crazy thing is,
Probably gonna piss somebody off though.
I only believe half of what I'm about to tell y'all. I don't even know if I fully believe this stuff.
See, podding.
I'm podding because it's tough.
It's hard. I know. Pause. It's difficult. It's difficult, but we're gonna attempt to do it here. Coming up in just a couple of minutes. No surprise, Brock Purdy named the captain. By the way,
no, he's.
And played like 6 games last year.
Yeah.
7 games.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, maybe he wasn't. I was about to say I think Jimmy Garoppolo was named captain. After his 5 games.
This came up in the press conference, but I can't remember the verbiage. Trey was or wasn't a captain last year?
I thought he was a captain.
He was.
I thought he was. I could be wrong. I thought he was. I remember.
I think he was
I heard
too.
I heard the tail end of when that was brought up too, and I was like, I couldn't remember what they were saying. I don't know if I told you. I think it might have been Kyle when you were gone. I said I'm all in on Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is the truth. I'm about as confident in Brock Purdy as I was about Colin Kaepernick. Now, I'm not saying like the results are going to mirror each other. I'm just saying I remember when Cap came in for Alex Smith and played the way he played, my confidence level was like, yo, Ron Jaworski's right. This guy might be the best quarterback ever. That's how confident I was. It has nothing to do with the results. I'm not there with Brock Purdy, but I think Brock Purdy is I'm close to it. Like, I think Brock Purdy is the real deal.
Just for accuracy's sake, the captains last year, Eric Armstead, per usual, Trent Williams, per usual, Fred Warner, per usual, 97, George Kittle, again, Jimmy Ward. No Trey. I don't know what to make of that versus Brock Purdy being a captain, but it's probably not that serious.
Nah, Grant Cohn will make it serious.
Wow, that's what mute was invented for. I don't know why I just don't unfollow him. What was this thing about worrying about hurting people's feelings? Grant Cohn was always very nice on the show. I always felt like he was a little hot takey. Now it just feels like he hate covers the 49ers. Like, I understand you got a job to do, but damn, son, this is what we're doing.
He gets a skip on. He gets a skip on.
We'll come back.
He be potting.
We got to do 4 in, 4 out. We might not get to it today. We might not. We'll save it for tomorrow if we don't. But that Ramona Shelburne article on James Harden, that was something. I think very highly of Ramona. And it's very, very clear what camp this information came from. That James Harden says is lies now. It clearly came from someone in his camp, but he says it's lies. We'll we might not get to it today. I just want to make sure my James Harden hate doesn't die. We're going to get to this article.
What did Rick Ross? Accusations.
We'll come back. 4 in, 4 out. What 4 teams made the playoffs last year won't this year? It's next here. Dealing with KC on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. Old takes exposed can go to hell.
Straight to hell.
Get out of family business. 13th round. Shout out to Maestro.
Come on, man. Man, oh, man. We made it. Angelo. Yeah, man, absolutely. It's up right now. I'll retweet a link out again. Yeah, we're doing it again. I'm seeing it all the way through this year, too. Believe it. I don't know where that tweet is either. You might be right, Leezy. Michigan Wolverine. Yeah, this is the worst kept secret of all time. Like, he's gone after this year. He is done. They're gonna try and win a national championship this year and get it done this year, because at least with him, it's over.
If he wins it this year, he goes out such a legend.
Oh yeah. If he wins here we go. Let me retweet him again. Yeah, if he leaves Michigan with the national championship, they might put a statue up for him.
How much time do we have? Can you ask
How much time we got, Justin? 40 seconds.
James Ham coming up at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. Talk Kings basketball with him. We'll talk Nick Bosa signing a contract extension with him as well, as we continue to wait for the details to come in regarding that contract. There were a lot of other things I was hoping to talk about today, but
you know who we won't talk about today? San Francisco Giants. Lost again today in Chicago, 8-2. Got swept. I mean, man,
they're that they're that Delta flight.
It hurts me too. It really does. Like, I don't want it to be this way. It's just frustrating. Really, it's just frustrating. And it'd be one thing if it was like frustrating and you know, okay, they're not happy with this season. They're going to bounce back. They're going to try and change this thing around next year. There's no hope in that. That's the frustrating thing about it. So this season, well, I think they're, I don't know, game and a half, 2 games out of the wild card. Sure feels like
it feels like they've been there a while, though, hasn't it? Like they're just kind of lingering around that number. They're not, falling too far out of it, not really competing to make it any better.
They are 2.5 games behind the Reds right now. 2.5 games behind. There's 2 teams ahead of them, the Diamondbacks and the Marlins, and they're just fading further and further away.
Want to?
They're at 500, by the way. Remember, I said I had a friendly wager with our guy Rich Ripley, and I said that the Giants weren't going to finish above 500. He said they were, and like in June, I was like, man, Rich, wherever you want to go, big dog. I'm glad I was wrong. Well, I think the odds say I'm gonna win this one.
Yeah, you may very well. You may very well. Also, you mentioned, just a quick note, nothing we need to spend a ton of time on. You mentioned a moment ago that Cooper Kupp is out week 1. Said he's probably going to miss week 2. There's actually a good chance he goes on injured reserve, which rules him out a minimum of 4 weeks. So the Rams are weighing those options right now, but not the start to the season that I think the Los Angeles Rams desperately need.
Never a good thing when you have to go see a specialist in another state.
No, it's not. That's a surefire sign something's wrong. Also, a quarterback's arm having some sort of issue that you can't really define. Not a good sign. In 2 things that have plagued the Los Angeles Rams the last 2 years.
Sean McVay. Damn, should have took that deal.
Oh, Sean McVay is thinking about
$500 million?
I think so.
He sounded like Kanye on College Dropout. Hey, can we still get that deal with Rockefeller?
Hey, what did they offer? Did they go after John Lynch too? Or was that just a rumor?
I don't know. I feel like I might have heard something about that.
Because I
don't know.
Wondering, what was John Lynch's deal worth? Because if Sean McVay was 500, because I don't think John Lynch was 500. I think if Sean McVay was 500, what would they have offered John?
They offered him around $15 million a year.
15 a year? Oh, I'd be insulted.
And
is that right? Is that number right? Did they offer Sean McVay $500 million? That's the Brady contract.
I don't believe that.
I feel like Brady. That's something like what the Brady deal was. Maybe it wasn't 500, but it was in the vicinity of something absurd.
I don't believe that's what it was.
Jesse got it. What was that?
100 million, 5 years.
Oh, 100. Oh, 5 years, 100 million.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
That man been thinking about it for about a year and a half now.
Well.
Yeah, not our problem. Spoiler alert: Rams aren't my foreign. They're not in.
I saw Jay Stahl at the 50 Cent concert.
Yeah, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, you at 50?" I was like, "Nah." I gave my tickets away at the last minute, which was dumb. But KC there, and he said as soon as he sent the text, he ran into you.
Yeah, he was telling me he's like, I wouldn't write off the Rams just yet.
Okay.
All right, Jay Stahl.
It feels like an issue when like your players are calling your quarterback sir and stuff like that. Like that stuff is real.
If the quarterback's wife is going on the podcast bitching about younger players, yeah, you're probably cooked. You're probably cooked. It's all karma for the Hell in a Cell throw they did to that young lady at the parade.
Oh, man.
Dr. David, an athlete's worst sentence you can hear. You need to see Dr. James Andrews.
Oof.
Yeah, that's never good. That's never good. Okay, every year, 4 teams that made the playoffs the year before will not make it the following year. Who's in? Who's out? As we outlined a minute ago last year, it was more than 4. In 2021, the Titans, Raiders, Patriots, Steelers, Rams, Cardinals, and Packers made the playoffs. Every single one of those teams missed the playoffs in 2022. Question is, who makes it and who doesn't this year? Let's get the ones we have in common out of the way.
Okay.
We both got the Bucks out.
Yes.
We both got the Chargers out.
Yes.
All right, where are you?
That's one I'll tell you right now, I'm not sold on.
You're not sold on the Chargers?
No.
I am. We both have the Giants out.
Yes.
All right. Who's your 4th team out?
My 4th team out, and you want to talk about not being sold on something. I have the Bengals out.
Going full D-Lo on this one.
Don't
ever go full D-Lo.
I'm telling you,
I'm
low-key podding on that one.
This is how I felt. This is how I felt about them last year. I thought they were going to fall off a little bit. They finished like 12 and I don't know if it was 12-5 or 13-4. I can't remember what their record was. It was something along those lines. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't have the standings right in front of me and I can't tell you. But there was something about them I wasn't sure about. And
I don't know. I might have to take that back.
Oh, they were 12-4. Cincinnati and Buffalo have that game that wasn't a game.
Yeah.
Sorry, it throws me off every time I see it. They were 12-4.
It's an old school record.
Yeah, 2 years ago. I feel you. I can't do that again. I did it last year. I can't do it again.
Well, see,
so I got you.
And this is the killer. Because I don't have the Dolphins out. And I don't have the Bills out. Don't have the Ravens out.
Oh my.
And
wow.
The South is not getting 2 teams.
Facts.
I don't have the Chiefs out.
Right.
And I already got the Chargers out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me that really wants to change that and say the Bills instead of the Bengals. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on wax. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
The 13-3 Bills will not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, because
okay.
And the logic is I think the Bengals are better than the Bills.
Let me go back to 2021. You have our notes in front of you?
Yes.
Give me a team that didn't make the playoffs excuse me, give me a team that did make the playoffs in 2021. The Colts, the Titans made the playoffs, right? That was one of the teams.
Yes.
In 2021, they were 12-5. So it's not unheard of. The Raiders were 10-7. New England 10-7. Pittsburgh 9-7-1. Let's scroll down. The Packers, they were 13-4.
Yeah.
Buccaneers 13-4. Of course, there's a notable absence that came with. That was retirement 1, right? And then he came back and played last year, and then we had retirement 2.
The
Rams were 12-5. So the point I'm trying to make. It's not crazy for a team 13-3, 12-4 or 5 in this case. It's not crazy to think that they won't make the playoffs the next year.
It's not crazy. I think with all those teams though that were mentioned from 2021. Maybe you look at the Rams a certain way. Maybe you look at the Packers a certain way. I don't think any of those teams were Super Bowl contenders the way the Bills are in a lot of people's eyes this year. Those were all not record-wise, but just their true standing in the league. They were like
the
fringe playoff teams to a certain degree.
Did the Rams win the Super Bowl?
They did. That's why I say the Rams and the Packers.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
But the Rams at the same time,
the Titans weren't. Is
right,
the point? The Titans
right.
weren't. Yeah.
The Rams at the same time, though, there were a lot of people that predicted some slippage from them. OBJ wasn't going to be there. He was a big part of what they were doing the year before. They did get Allen Robinson, and everybody thought, they lose OBJ, but they get Allen Robinson, and then they just never passed to him. So there were some signs. They lost a lot of people on defense. I remember that. And there were some thoughts and some signs that they might fall back. I don't know if there's any thoughts of the Bills falling back, but it's all irrelevant. I already made the switch. The Bills, I got them out. I got the Bengals in. So the Bengals are going to stay in.
Bengals are staying in. Okay. My teams that I have out were easy. Let me rephrase that. The teams I have in were easy. As we noted, I have the Bucs out, the Giants out, the Chargers out, and I've been debating on the 4th team.
I don't know. I don't know how you say your 4 teams were so easy.
No, the 3 of them were. My 4 teams in, I felt like the 4 in were easy. I didn't have any problem picking those. The 4 out were tough.
No, the 4 in.
That was easy.
It shouldn't be that easy.
It's easy for me.
I don't know how you came to this conclusion.
All right, well, we'll get to it. I got the Bucs, the Giants, the Chargers out. I'm trying to decide between the last one, and I'm going to do like you. I'm going to have to make a call here because it comes down to 2 teams. I'll go ahead. I'll put you on the screen. You go ahead and meme me all you want because it's down to 2 teams. And the 2 teams I like. It's either the Dolphins or it's the Ravens.
Oof. Ain't no way. Ain't no way he gonna do it. Ain't
I
no
don't
way.
know. It's one of those two teams.
Let's go. Let's pick a side. Come on. Whose side are you on?
I like both of them. I think I got the Dolphins out.
Ooh, damn.
I think I got the
You
Dolphins
did it.
out.
You really did it.
You want me to take the Ravens out?
Yeah, you can't do that. That's wrong either. That's wrong too.
I need another team to be out. I can't do it to the Bengals again. I don't think it's the Bills. I need another team to be out. Give me a better team then. Jesse, give me another team. Give me a fourth team I could take out of there. Someone's got to win the South.
Yeah. See, the South just messes everything up.
The choices are Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Dolphins. Now, it doesn't have to be two from each conference, so it can be Philly, San Francisco, Minnesota, the Bucks, which I already have out, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Seahawks.
Go ahead, say the Seahawks.
I'm not taking the Seahawks out, and I'm not.
Let me ask you.
I'm not taking Minnesota out.
Let me ask everybody a question. And I'm not saying predict it because I'm not predicting it. So the Chiefs are just gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah,
The Chiefs will run away with that division.
yeah. Chiefs are winning that division.
So Travis Kelce out 7 weeks.
Okay,
We still don't know. Chris Jones ain't there. Eric Bieniemy's gone. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, who's under center? Jesse, you know who's under center for Kansas City?
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Who's the head coach?
Andy Reid.
I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes is enough for me to believe.
I'm cool.
KC.
All right.
Go ahead, write them off then.
I'm not
Take
writing them off.
Take the Bills out and say it's the Chiefs. Say the Chiefs are missing the playoffs. Say the defending Super Bowl champions are missing the playoffs. Then say it. Stop tiptoeing around it.
I'm not.
Say it.
I'm not saying. I'm just. Everybody just like
You
it's not
trying
an
to
option.
float it out there so in 6 months you could go, I told you.
Everybody's saying it like it's not an option.
Hey, it doesn't have to be 4. It can be 5. Throw the Chiefs on there if you want to.
Everybody's saying it like it's not an option.
Well, because the Raiders and Broncos aren't winning that division. You believe in the Chargers that much?
I think the Chargers are going to be good.
You got the Chargers out.
I think
you literally got the Chargers out.
Well, hear what I'm saying. I think the Chargers are going to be good, but you'll see where I'm going in just a second. You'll see where I'm
I
going.
don't want
in
to
just
do
a
it to the
second.
Dolphins. I just don't know who. I feel like the Dolphins.
How do we feel about the Vikings?
I don't love the Vikings.
They're shaky.
I feel
They're
like
shaky.
I don't.
That's the team who could fall off this season. Kurt's going into a year where he doesn't have an extension. It's the last year of his deal. And the other teams in that division are starting to step up a bit.
Who's my man Baker quarterbacking for this year?
Tampa.
No.
So the issue with the Vikings.
If I took Minnesota, I don't know who to put in.
That was the issue that I came up with.
Detroit.
You
I already got
him
Detroit in.
Green Bay.
Okay. Jordan Love. The Jordan Love era has begun, as good old JR would say.
Jordan Love's actually looked pretty good.
No, that's what I'm asking. Like, if the Jordan Love era has begun, that means he's cooking, playing well. That's going to be the reason they get to the playoffs. Anybody willing to do it? Minnesota out, Green Bay in?
No, I want to put Minnesota out, but
I
already put. I don't have another spot in the NFC. I don't have nobody.
We
else.
each have.
I want to put Green Bay in.
We each have 2 and 2. I feel really bad about the Dolphins. Don't like it. But I got the Chargers and the Dolphins out in the AFC. I got the Bucks and the Giants out in the NFC. You've got the Bucks and the Giants out. You've got the. Oh, you literally did change it. The Bills and the Chargers out in the AFC. Who you got in?
I got the Jets.
Wow.
Wow. I got the Lions in.
Oh, yep.
I got the Saints.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
And this is what I'm saying to y'all.
This is man podding. Oh, yeah. Jesse just saw it. Go ahead. Who you got in?
I got the Broncos in.
Look at this dude. Boy, you love you some Russell Wilson. I
got
swear.
the Broncos in.
You love you some Russell Wilson. Get this man a Russell Wilson jersey. We'll put it right next to his Jason Tatum jersey.
So this is the logic. The logic is they had one of the top defenses in the game last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they had one of the worst offenses in the league last year.
Mm-hmm.
If that offense only gets halfway better.
You know what another big
probably in the
problem,
playoffs.
and we'll talk about this, as we roll along in the week.
Mhm.
Their offensive line was bad.
Mm.
Like Russ hit the ground a lot.
Mm.
We'll talk about it.
Sean Payton's been covering his ass all offseason.
Boy,
with Nathaniel Hackett and then Russ this week.
And
I don't even like Sean Payton.
That's the thing that's I think that's clouding my judgment a little bit because I don't dislike the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Sean Payton. I don't know why. That move just really rubbed me the wrong way.
I've never,
even though I agreed with him.
I never liked Sean Payton.
Bothered me. I've got we both have the Lions in.
Mm-hmm.
We both have the Saints in. We both gave the man his respect and put the Jets in.
Mm-hmm.
You went with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with the Cleveland Browns.
Now that's ridiculous. Y'all talking to me about the Broncos. This man just put the Browns in here.
That's much better than the Broncos, I think. I gotta side with D'Lo on this one.
Wow. Look at that. Y'all didn't see that. But he looked at Jesse like Jesse was about to co-sign this nonsense.
Why did you do
and
that,
then,
Casey?
The Browns ain't going nowhere.
I disagree.
The Broncos gonna have a better record than the Browns. I know that much.
I'll do you one better. No, they're not.
I know that much.
Browns might win that division.
Browns definitely not winning that division.
Browns might win that division.
The Browns gonna finish last in that division.
Okay, now you sound ridiculous.
I don't hate that take either.
Browns gonna finish last.
No, they're not.
They might not even be like the worst team in football, but they finishing last in the NFC.
Dude, bro,
North.
you sound ridiculous. Stop it.
Baltimore's better. Cincinnati's better. A lot of people love Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's not better than Cleveland.
Why
don't because they're not.
Mike Tomlin finishing under 500 this year then?
Oh no, I never do that. I ain't gonna do that to Mike Tomlin. I ain't never doing that to Mike Tomlin.
Will have 4 teams over 500.
I think they did last year, didn't they?
Were the Browns over 500?
I don't think they were over 500 last year.
They were.
Browns,
they were 7-10. You're right. You're right.
Look like another 7-10 season.
They ain't gonna be 7-10 this year. They ain't gonna be 7-10.
That's a terrible take.
It's not a take. It's what's gonna happen. It's a spoiler. The Browns are making the playoffs. They're gonna be better than the Broncos.
I think I was just about to say.
And you're a punk ass head coach that all of a sudden you standing for.
It's not my head coach.
I think it is.
Not my head coach. I don't like that.
Your head coach.
I don't even like the quarterback.
That's your head coach and your quarterback.
I don't even really like anything about the Broncos.
You picked them.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be better than the Browns.
No, they're not.
I think the Browns are better than the Broncos, but I'm not high on either team. Like the Steelers might be better than the Browns.
How you doing that?
The Steelers, the thing I worry about is I don't know who Kenny Pickett is. I'm not sure.
Got you.
So I think they're always well coached. You got a guy like TJ Watt who's a game changer. So I think you have those type of situations, but Kenny Pickett, is he good enough to lead them to a playoff berth? I don't know. I'm not saying he's not.
I think Random Ramsey wants in on the action. Ramsey, before you do your 4 in, 4 out, which, by the way, anyone who wants to get in on this is welcome. 916-909-1320. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You want to shout out the U.S. Open last night?
Man, Penn Shelton did his thing.
That was good stuff.
And I hope he beats Novak. I got a different name for his last name, but
Oh, don't do that.
Oh,
I don't know what it is, but don't do that, Ramsey.
I think I smell what he's cooking.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't need to do that.
I'll leave the last word out. I'll just say Joker.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know what it is. You got 4 in, 4 out, Ramsey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why you call that?
Some people might. Hey, there's a few. Some people might call me crazy.
Okay. All right.
Tampa Bay definitely out.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Cowboys out.
Oh. All right.
Oh.
The Chargers definitely out.
Yep.
And if I have to, Jesse, I hate to admit it, it'd probably be the Dolphins.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Damn.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
I know it's a tough one.
Because here's the other thing to me. I know everybody thinks the AFC East is going to be the best division in football. I think it's going to be the AFC North.
I agree
Okay.
with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
with that.
I think that's going to be it. And you know what? There's a fifth team. I apologize.
Wait,
Give me the Vikings too.
Okay, he got the Vikings out. You go, okay, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, who's in?
In Falcons.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Y'all laugh.
Yes, we laugh.
Everybody thinks the Saints is going to do something.
Bro.
We'll see.
The Saints
All
are
right.
clearly better than
Bro, I swear to God, if you say the Cardinals, we're hanging up.
No, he's gonna say the Bears. He's gonna say the Bears.
I don't hate
I
that.
like the Bears to finish second in that division behind the Lions.
Okay, I don't hate that. So you got so obviously do you have the Bears in?
Yeah.
So you got the Bears, the
And I have
Lions,
the
the
Lions
Falcons.
in.
Okay.
Yep, Bears, Lions, and Falcons. I gotta go with the Chargers out. Give me the Steelers.
Okay.
And I mean, I hate to admit it, I've been watching Hard Knocks. That Jets team looks very good. And and let me put it like this: everybody's been talking about interior linemen and Aaron Donald being the best. At this point in time, I might have to take. I think he's number 95 from the Jets. That boy Quinnen Williams is nasty.
I love Ramsey.
I'm surprised Ramsey didn't say the Niners were gonna be out.
Whenever Ramsey about to start cooking, he does this like little slow delivery. And he about to unleash something after that.
Hey man, why Ramsey call that man that? Man, you can't. That's almost worse. That is worse than me and Devin Booker.
That was real OJS energy right there. Not gonna say what it is, but
it's kind of funny though.
Yeah, because I pictured him saying it.
Yeah.
I said, "Come on, man."
Yeah, man, I was gonna call him Novak Djokovic. Like, that's funny. Not okay. Not okay. Very funny.
Come on, man.
he said you guys laugh now about his Falcons.
My favorite thing is when Katrina calls him out. Like this guy and his 5 favorite teams. Ramsey can't call now without the whole chatty house going fade, shot clock, Jesse, fade.
He's not. I'll say this though. He's not crazy about the Falcons. I disagree.
I disagree.
But I don't think they're going to be like the Panthers.
I disagree about the Falcons. I don't disagree about the Bears though.
I think the Bears still got to show me a little something though. I'm not out on the Bears, but
neither one of us are in on the Vikings either. And you need to stop co-signing stuff about the Chargers when you've got the Chargers out. If you like the Chargers that much,
it's the way you guys
every time
say
somebody
it.
says something about the Chargers, you go, "You guys are tripping,
No,
bro." You got the Chargers
it's
out
the
of the
way you guys
playoffs.
say it. Y'all be the Chargers definitely. They definitely out. They definitely.
The Chargers were one of your 3 teams you knew for sure you had out. They were not the 4th team. You had the Chargers
You
out.
didn't even
easy.
think about them.
I didn't say that. I didn't. Well, if they were, they're not in that category for sure.
This guy.
I had to take them out because I had to get the Broncos in. But they're
Had
not
to
for
had to
sure.
get the Broncos in.
They not for
had to
sure.
put the Broncos in there.
Broncos going to the playoffs.
You
They're
gotta
not.
stop saying that.
Yeah, you really do.
Anybody think the Raiders are getting in? You're home.
I
Raiders?
want to.
They'll be lucky to
just-
get 8 wins this season.
Well, here's the thing about the Raiders. We carry Raider football. I don't mind talking about this Raiders team. When the Raiders become a Super Bowl favorite, they can top our 49ers coverage.
Yeah.
Probably
still won't. But it's okay. We'll talk about it. We talk about it every Tuesday
hey,
with Downtown Sky.
Hey, we go where the numbers are. I saw Scott Gilbranson's numbers. We go where the numbers are. Y'all want to talk Raider football? We'll talk Raider football. Y'all want to talk Kings basketball? We'll do that with James Ham, host of the Insiders. Kyle Madsen here on Sacramento Sports Theater. We'll talk to James Ham next on ESPN 1320. Hey, can Charlie hear me? Hey, Charlie, are you meeting with Aaron today? Okay. I think we're the only people Aaron doesn't meet with. I think he meets with everyone except us. Yeah, I'll talk to Charlie about it when we're not on the. Okay. I see you, Michigan. Stay off social media forever. No, hold on. Where'd it go? No, not sleeping on the. I did not sleeping on the Vikings. Didn't take them out. Wanted to give them respect. I didn't give them respect until very, very late in the season last year. It's a solid football team. They're like 12 and what were they? 12-5. They're gonna repeat that. Do that again.
And they weren't beating the best teams last year, right?
Yeah, and what are they gonna?
I mean, you guys no, we're not doing anything about the Vikings. They got waxed by the Giants in the playoffs.
Can I
also
point out maybe we're doing a little too much with the Lions?
That end of the season run for them, I think, kind of solidified what they could be.
Okay. All right. So you got the Chargers winning the West. Interesting. Okay. I assume that East means Jets. Gotcha. Jaguars. And the Ravens. Okay. Don't hate it. Did you miss the discussion yesterday about we didn't really do it. We kind of like mentioned it, but never really. I don't know why. Never got into it. I think I actually wrote it in today's show. Because it was originally something for Trista. Yeah. Katrina, I wrote it into today's show again and didn't use it. So copy and paste, baby. I'll work on that tomorrow.
Josh Harris was talking to ESPN, I think their owner, and he's like, yeah, we're still fine with the situation we have. Plenty of teams that would want to switch with us.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong, though. He's not wrong.
I think they're a play-in team this season.
I don't think I disagree with you. I don't think I disagree with that at all.
What do you say?
It's a good question. Philadelphia's a play-in team. I think we can do that. As a matter of fact, I think we can get Amy Trask here to talk about whatever. Trista's good. Should plan is to be with us Friday. But I think we can get this. I think we can get this done. I haven't talked to her in a long time.
Oh, Twitter's a wild place, man. Come on.
Hey, what's going on Twitter? What happened?
Twitter, man, it's crazy.
What happened?
So I just got followed by it ain't even a real person, but I don't even know why you'd make this name up. Somebody had a parody account to follow me.
You get followed by Novak Joker?
No. I'll save it for the break. I don't even want to say it on the radio.
Down south?
No.
Okay.
You get followed by a fake 49ers writer?
No, it's a fake somebody, though. It's a fake somebody. I'm like, come on, man. What is this?
All right.
I'll just say, man.
Can you keep the secrets from us again?
Maybe the second most famous Trump.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Stop it. Never mind. Keep it to yourself. I don't even care who it was.
You get followed by Chadwick Trump?
Oh, man. Twitter, a wild place. What was Jesse Pod during the break?
I don't think that's a pod. I don't think that's
we talking basketball or football?
Oh, we were talking basketball.
Oh, okay.
Unless there's a play-in in the
oh yeah, you did say that. I was thinking like wild card, but yeah.
No. Jesse said during the commercial that he thinks Philly's a play-in team this year. I don't think that's crazy.
I mean, I ain't gonna say he's podding, but I disagree.
No, I understand why. Jesse feels that way. I don't. I don't see them 1, 2, 3. And you can convince me that they're not 4. And if 5 through, 7, 8 is close enough.
I can't see him falling any further than that.
You believe in James Harden to fix his attitude then?
I mean, maybe not, but they still got Tyrese Maxey. They still got Tobias Harris. They still got the reigning MVP.
Maxey's cool, but those other guys minus Embiid, those are just guys, I feel like.
Got Bobby Jackson.
They got Bobby Jackson. Nah, like I said, it's not the craziest thing in the world, but I disagree. I don't think the East is strong enough for them to fall into the play-in.
I got Boston, Cleveland. I still have Milwaukee there, which some people might want to fight.
Give me the Knicks and Heat over them, Cleveland.
So
he said,
no, he said, give me the Knicks and Heat over Cleveland.
No, the Knicks. No, give me the Knicks and Heat. Give me Cleveland also.
Over Philly. Over Philly. I'm sorry, I thought you said over.
So now
Cleveland.
we're at 6. I don't know if you can get any further than that.
That's playing now.
7's playing.
No, that's 5 teams ahead of them, right?
Yeah, I have one.
Huh.
You're not gonna like it.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I don't hate that either.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think Brooklyn beat.
But to me, the only way that I see that happening, and I didn't mean to, it didn't intend to dissect what just said, but if 5, 6, 7, 8, if they're close, like within a game or two, yeah, I could see Philly I could see it all being clumped up and Philly being at the bottom of it.
It's a team where
I don't think Philly is like in a different in the upper echelon tier this year.
Well, I'll also say, Philly is finished. So whatever happens.
Well, they're championship wise, I think they're finished.
Yeah, with me, I don't think you're like a locked in top 4 team anymore. So you're done with that, and whatever happens to you after that happens.
Jesse,
Philly's a team. They got bad vibes going into the season. Like you can't go into a season where James Harden is still there and he's pouting and whatever. Tobias Harris, we've been waiting for that guy to put it together for the last 7 years. It's not going to work out.
I love after everything that was in Ramona Shelburne's report today, that clearly came from someone in James Harden's camp. He calls Cap on the line about him pouting about not being an all-star reserve. I cannot stress to you enough. Ramona Shelburne is a terrific reporter. This is a phenomenal article. And it's phenomenal in the sense of it is stunningly sympathetic to James Harden, as if he hasn't created this mess himself. And shout out to Ramona for reminding everyone of the fact he passed on an extension in Brooklyn. He passed on money from Houston. And it's like all of a sudden Daryl Morey's supposed to make it right with him at the tail end of his career. I don't like Daryl Morey, and these might be the 2 individuals in basketball I dislike the most. But how is that his fault? How is that Daryl Morey's fault? James Harden has run a PhD level class on how to miss out on the bag. You want it out of Houston, passed on the bag. You want it out of Brooklyn, you passed on the bag. And now you want your savior, Daryl Morey, to make it right for you? Man, get your ass out of here with that.
There is nothing sympathetic about James Harden and what's gone on with him in the last couple of years.
He really lacks self-awareness.
Oh, that is so on point.
He doesn't. It's like, I don't want to say he doesn't understand, but maybe he doesn't understand. Like you said, self-awareness. Maybe he's just not even paying attention to the world, reality, real life.
James Harden's keyword of the year was sacrifice. He was sacrificing for the greater good of the Philadelphia 76ers. And perhaps the most incredible stretch in the article, Ramona wrote, the first hint that Harden's sacrifice wasn't being appreciated, much less rewarded in the way he hoped, came in late January when he wasn't voted to be an all-star. Harden, who had made 10 consecutive all-star games, was dismayed at the snub, sources say. It didn't help that former Nets teammates Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving had both been voted in as starters by the fans, media, and players, while Harden was a distant fourth among Eastern Conference guards behind Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, and Jaylen Brown. Still, this part, I'm just having trouble computing this. Still, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was prepared to name him as an injury replacement. Harden just had to give assurances that he would show up and play in the game. Days went by without Harden's answer. He was pouting. By the time Harden sent word that he would accept the invitation, Silver had moved on, naming Toronto Raptors forward Pascal Siakam as the replacement for an injured Durant. Outside of James Harden pouting, do you believe any of that? Adam Silver was going to name him to the All-Star game. They wanted assurances he would actually play. And obviously, I believe all of the rest about him pouting that everyone else made it. And he didn't.
Sounds about right. I believe everything about that. I believe Adam Silver. I believe he started pouting. I believe he thought he should have been, in there before, and that's why he wasn't calling back and all this other stuff. All of that sounds on brand.
By the way, nothing wrong with sources, nothing wrong with reporting. Again, I think the world of Ramona. I think Ramona went rogue with the word pouting because that was the only thing James Harden seemed to take exception to. Clearly, that line didn't come from somebody. Clearly, the line was probably something along the lines of James was upset. I like the word pouting.
What did James say specifically?
Lies.
Allegations.
I think he said it on Instagram or something. I think he just wrote lies. Okay, bro. That's right. It was lies. What about the everything else in the article that paints you as this sympathetic figure in this thing? Lies too?
Right. That's the whole thing.
Because she clearly says a couple of times, sources close to Harden say. Hey, talk to your people then, bro.
James is somebody, Drew Down, I think, said it earlier in the chat. James just doesn't get it. There it is. James
He doesn't
get it.
Nope.
And this is a guy at this point in his career that is unsalvageable. It's not somebody that I'd want to have in my locker room. Like, because he doesn't understand. Like, he's not going to make us better. We're not going to get better because he doesn't get it. He's just out there on his own little island. Yeah, I'm out on James.
Will Z sent us a graphic with 4 in, 4 out, and I'm trying to understand it.
With James Harden, too, he's 34 years old. Like, he's not going to be in the league much longer unless he changes up.
Well, I want to see what happens this next contract.
So that's it. Like, who? I'm a Russell Westbrook guy, but I think I've been very honest in the assessment of it. If it's not the Clippers, I don't know who it is. Who the hell is going to sign James Harden next year?
Especially for what he seems to be looking for or thinking he can get. Like, is he going to take the pay cut that is inevitably coming his way?
No, I don't know. If he wants to play basketball, he is. I'll point out one other really, really funny thing. Again, a PhD level class on how to screw up your contracts. He opted in for the $35 million because he was pissed and demanded a trade. Opts in and demands a trade. By all indications, the 76ers were prepared to offer him a contract extension. Not the max contract extension that he wanted, but a contract extension that I think was probably comfortably north of 30 per. Fair?
Yeah.
30 per, 120 to 140. Instead, he gets frustrated, takes the 35, says that hell with the other 100 million, and now is going to be put in a position where next July rolls around and he's staring at nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Brian Jennings brings up a good point in the chat. If Houston's not paying you, no one is. They gave Fred VanVleet $40 million per year just because they had money to spend.
I think it was less Houston because I think Houston was willing to do it,
Mhm.
and more Ime who was like, "Nah, bro, we good. I don't want James Harden here." The article kind of alludes. I don't think it alludes to that. I think it's laid out as Ime Udoka was a big, part of that. That didn't quell the discussions.
Mhm.
But as we got later in the regular season, it felt like the Houston thing got quieter and quieter and quieter, and then we started seeing Houston tied to Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. I mean, we thought Brook Lopez was going there.
Yeah. I just don't know who's given that type of money that he's looking for. And when he's faced with that reality,
I do.
Of
no one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So when he's faced with the reality of that's not what I'm going to be making, what does he do?
I don't know.
Does he sign? I'm just throwing out a number. I'm not saying this exactly what it would be. Does he sign a 2-year, $25 million contract?
The only team,
like $12 million. Does he have?
He might
does
sign.
He have it in him?
He might sign
to
1-year
that?
deals. He might sign 1-year deals, and I'm gonna show them.
The only team I could see lightweight giving him a bag is maybe the Clippers, because it's kind of feels like it's been kind of hinting that maybe Paul George and Kawhi, not both, but that's kind of run its course. And he's got the stadium coming up in 2024. I think Harden's still a decent enough name where it'll build some type of excitement for that. But that's kind of doing the most.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy by the Clippers to give him the money he's looking, not sign him. I understand sign him, but give him the money he's looking for or
That'd
he
be
thinks he
insane.
should get.
That'd
That's
be absolutely
crazy.
nuts. Let's bring in the host of the Insiders.
There he is.
Here on ESPN 1320. Our good friend James Ham. James, this is the first time you're pulling double duty here with your new job. You're listening to D'Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app and live with James and Kyle Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 a.m. here on ESPN 1320. How have the first few days been, James?
I'm loving it. It's been a little bit of an adjustment for sure. Like running a show versus just popping in and like making everyone else do all the work.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I roll typically, is I just let you guys do all the work.
You could do that still. You could make Kyle do all of the work and you just roll in and get ready to go.
I told Kyle, like I'm someone who always gets in early, right? So it doesn't matter. Like they know down in at Golden One that if they need something, I'm usually around on a game day or on a practice day. I'm always early. And so yeah, like it's been good. Like adjusting to like trying to get in and out of breaks, that was new. But I think I'm learning. I just know that you guys are cool and have not very many breaks, and I am not cool and have so many breaks that it's dizzying.
We're gonna work on that, James. We'll get you there.
But outside of that, like I love it. I think it's been good conversation. We of course had Nick Bosa watch 2023 today until he signed right after we were off the air. So
now you got the experience of news breaking the second your show ends.
Yeah, I love it. You guys get all the glory. Like, I mean, it was a shtick where, like, we were making him fun of the fact that we're all like waiting on pins and needles. And even the reporting on this one has been so weird. Like the Bosa reporting has been so strange. So nobody knew anything. That is what happened. They didn't know anything. And then when they didn't know anything, they got frustrated because they didn't know anything. And then we get like the strange reports like, oh, no one thinks he's going to play this weekend, that he's out. And, like there's no conversations going on. It's like, yeah, no. They're just waiting to announce it.
Well, so what do you think happened? I've been meaning to ask you this too, Dane, but James, you can answer first. Like, what do you think happened? Because the only thing that I do put stock in this particular situation is Ian Rappaport. And these numbers and the way things were playing out, I think somebody in San Francisco was giving that information to Ian. Because I think at some point, whether they do it in a super public way or you start leaking things out, you got to answer to like why this isn't getting done. And maybe you don't have an answer, but you can put out like, it's not really on our side. We're willing to give him $30 million. You know, like you can put your point of view out there without maybe making him look bad, right? Like we're offering 30 mil. You don't want to sign the deal. I'm not here to say what he's looking for, what he's not looking for. Just know, Ian, we're offering 30 mil a year. So like I do believe those things were happening, but this morning, Ian Rappaport was like, man, a crazy breakthrough is going to have to happen. And then 4 hours later, he's the richest non-quarterback in the history of the game.
Yeah.
The crazy breakthrough is always just sitting there. Like it was. That's how a deal like this works. Like they had parameters. Guys were hardballing this or that. You know, they each of them probably had a list of things that they were hoping to get out of the negotiation. And in the end, they both probably lost a little bit here and there. The guaranteed money is really high, but I think it could have been higher. The overall money is absolutely astronomical, which is not something that I think, you know, if the Niners were looking at 30 million and you're signing him for what, 34, that's a big difference. That puts you like way up there. I honestly believe though that what happened was Nick Bosa was listening to you, Kenny, yesterday, basically just yell that he wasn't that guy. And so he's like, oh no, I got to go prove that I'm that guy. And that ain't happening no more. I think that's what happened. Honestly,
Well,
I think
the 49ers were also listening to me too, because I told them as well, just get it done. This is ridiculous on
Just
both
get it done.
sides. And clearly they're like, you know what? I got KC right, man. He's right, man. What? Come on, Jed. Like, let's give him 34. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even go back to like the Harrison Barnes negotiations this summer. Like from what I know, they had negotiations with Harrison Barnes and then they stopped. And Barnes's people were like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And they're like, "Nothing, we just have to do our due diligence." And they're like, "Okay."
Stop.
And they waited.
Called Masai Ujiri. And then called Harrison Barnes back.
But they waited and they waited. We got to like 2.5 weeks. It started to get a little creaky. It started to get a little bit like, I don't think they're too happy about all this waiting. And then out of nowhere, again, I was on vacation and I get a text, hey, negotiations back on. This thing's happening.
Yeah.
And that's
immediately
how it happened.
Following our show, by the way. James,
yes.
James texted me at like 4:20. Hey, talks are back on. Oh, great.
Yeah, here I am in Puerto Vallarta trying to get sunburned, and they are messing with my all inclusive.
I'm guessing you didn't have to try that hard.
No. And then boom, it happens. And so sometimes that's how it works. Sometimes there's a cooling off period. Sometimes there's just like everyone knows he doesn't really want to show up until today. Everyone kind of knows. I mean, I think he's like waiting down the street. Is he like at a Starbucks, like with his feet up? Like
I got the impression he's not even here. He legit might be in Florida. Like I don't know. Like Kyle, he could have been embellishing. I
definitely don't think he was in California.
Yeah, I don't either. But
because I've heard people before Kyle said Bosa will get here.
And it could also be a thing where his people call him last night. Hey, we're getting this done today. We have enough reason to believe we're getting this done today. Get on a plane first thing in the morning and get to Santa Clara.
Yeah. Or it's possible they're just like, hey, we know you're in great shape. We have this thing called DocuSign now. We don't even really need you to come in here with a pen. Why don't you just meet us in Pittsburgh? We'll see you there. It's a much shorter flight. And we'll just do it that way.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, you might want to. I mean,
I think
get one practice in.
Well,
like at least one.
I think they're
get hit once.
Are they leaving today or tomorrow? Maybe they're leaving tomorrow.
I think they're leaving tomorrow, but they're not going to practice tomorrow. I don't think.
Oh, they have a walk.
I would think they practice tomorrow, wouldn't they? Here, wouldn't they? Not here in Santa Clara, in California.
It might be different, with basketball. It's like I know this last year, Mike Brown liked to fly to their location, get off the plane, and go work out the kinks and go get a practice in once they landed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was new. That was something we hadn't really seen before. And so it's very possible that they'll do that as well, that they'll fly to Pittsburgh and then get a practice in Pittsburgh, different time zone, start to, kind of get acclimated and settled in.
Ultimately, what's this change?
Well,
you still expect them to be. You expected them to be a Super Bowl team yesterday.
Yeah.
You expect them to be a Super Bowl team today. It's just all the T's have been crossed now.
Do you think I was a one man wolf pack with that?
With what?
With thinking they were a Super Bowl team yesterday. Bosa wasn't signed. He wasn't with the team.
No, I don't think so.
You know, like
I got
Kyle and I
a
discussed
list
it.
of questions in our notes that we just didn't get to because we didn't have to, and that was kind of along the lines of one of them. Sorry, Hammer.
Yeah, I was saying, like, Kyle and I discussed, and Kyle's like sold that they're not a Super Bowl contending team without him. And you know, my point of view is like, you don't know if someone's a Super Bowl contending team until the week before the Super Bowl. Like that's the way it goes. Like whether they can get there or not, sure. Like on paper, they look great, and they've been there 3 of the last 5 years. So you would assume that they'd at least have an opportunity, but like it's a 17-week season, and so much can happen in the NFL in 17 weeks. Just like so much can happen in 82 game schedule in the NBA, where teams go from contenders to pretenders like super quick. And so, like, look, I don't know if they're a Super Bowl team either way, but I would bank on getting there with him more than getting there without him.
Yeah, I thought, like Damien just said, I thought that there was a team that was loaded even without him, and now you bring him into the fold. And I said it earlier, James. I think this is the best opportunity Kyle Shanahan has ever had to win a Super Bowl with this roster. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they've got weapons. They've got playmakers on both sides of the ball. They're stacked. They are stacked.
I totally agree. They are stacked, but at the end of the day, like you just don't know. You don't know how it all pieces together. Just like all we talk about with the Kings is, you know, continuity and keeping it together. What if it just doesn't work in year 2? There's always that possibility. And what if it not only works, but if the Ken Piffany is right and this is a championship team? Like it's totally possible. And that's why like I have a tough time. Like I do predictions on win totals and stuff like that. But realistically, as someone who covers a team on a daily basis, I don't get into the who they are and how good they are until we get to a certain point where they prove to you who they are. And usually with this Kings team, they would prove to you who they were by like Thanksgiving, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a long one. But the last season, you know, I kept feeling the same way. Like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop the whole time, and then they kept proving who they were. And then we get to the All-Star break, and you get to the trade deadline, the All-Star break. You're like, who are they going to be? They proved who they were. They're a really good team, and so I have no problem saying after watching 48 wins that that's a really good team. But we don't know going into the next year. You never know what will happen, and that's why you got to play the games.
I completely agree with that, and think football is the like ultimate wild card because of how short the season is and how each of those positions is so vital. Not to insinuate that's not the case in the NBA, but that I feel like in what you said is 100% accurate. But I also feel like in the NBA, there are teams that you just kind of know. Like Boston's going to be there next year. Where there is, I'm not really sure. They're not going to be 10th, whether they're first, second, or third, or fourth, or whatever. You know, that's up for conversation. Of course, the Kings, unfortunately, don't yet fall into that category. They're not one of those teams that you can go ahead and pencil in or Sharpie in as the season, you know, goes along. But I just don't feel like that same parity is, and probably, James, part of the reason for that is, as much as you might be able to pinpoint who's good, a lot of times in the NBA, you can pinpoint who's bad.
Yes.
And when you pinpoint who's bad, now it's just a math game. Okay, at what point are we at 10 or 9 or 8 or 7 or whatever? And that's sometimes how you can work through things in the NBA.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the NFL, I mean, we watched it in the NFC Championship game. The potential winner of the Super Bowl was literally changed on one play. Brock Purdy blows out his elbow, it's done. Like they were basically eliminated on one play. And then who knows what would have happened if he would have stayed healthy and he would have gone on to play, if they would have won, if he would have gone on to go to the Super Bowl. Like, we don't know, but it's one play. Rarely in the NBA is it something so dramatic. And rarely do you see a team just fall off the face of the earth. Like for instance, the Dallas Mavericks last year. That's an anomaly by NBA standards. Watching a team that had been building and getting better and better and better to just be horrible, like, that didn't make any sense. It rarely does it happen. And so it doesn't make any sense so bad that so many people are like expecting them to be like a 48 win, 50 win team again. And those are the things where you're just kind of looking at, like, the NBA doesn't usually work. It doesn't swing that way like the NFL does. But on occasion it does. And, like, I don't think anyone expected the Kings to, I mean, they could have been good, like, but to be the 3rd seed and great, that wasn't expected. And it was a pretty big anomaly. And, if you look at the history of the league over the last, 30, 40 years.
Which one you guys like better? Do you like the 4 out, 4 in nature of the NFL, or you know what you're getting style of the NBA? I typically like the NBA style. Like, I don't, if my team or if they've ascended to the point, like the Kings right now, they've ascended to the point where they're a good team. I like to bet on the fact that this is a good team, and now we're trying to reach another level. If that's the case, not, I don't know, randomly the Giants, the New York Giants. Oh, we had a great season, but man, we might end up being 5-11 this year.
Well, that might be how people feel about Sacramento, though. We might be the Giants.
They might, but the history of the league is that's not what happens.
Well, you're
I
right,
like
but it
more
happened
like
to Dallas, as James pointed out. It happened to
but Dallas still had 3 seasons in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Giants might go from divisional round to top 10 pick in the draft. Like, that don't usually happen in the NBA. I like it more where Dallas, we talk about Dallas. Dallas had 3 years to get their stuff together. They couldn't figure it out. Now they might be on the downturn. Like, at least you got your 3 years, like, all right, we're here. Can we elevate and figure it out? As you got 3 minutes in the NFL.
Yeah.
It might not work, but that's just me. Like, which one do you guys
Knicks
like better?
ascended and dropped off, but now I'm just picking apart what you said. Sorry.
I do like the parity. Like, that's what you're talking about. The parity of the NFL, where you have no idea from one season to the next, like, what a team is going to be. And the NBA, it does have such a, an order to it, where a team hits this stage and then they get stuck, and either they go up or they drop down a couple of wins. And then they always try to, like, add a couple of players that they think will take them up, and then that doesn't work, and now they're in salary cap trouble. Or you see a team who hits a point and then they make the playoffs, and then the next season they make it to the second round and they start to progress and become sort of like the team they're going to be for, 5 or 6 year window. I think that's where, again, if I were betting on who the Sacramento Kings will be, I would say they're a team on the rise, a team that's well put together, that's built to withstand, quite a few erratic things that could happen during a season. But they're a team that, like, has that look of someone who's going to climb, not of a team that was a flash in the pan that has no chance of being good again. And it's just some random thing that happened that made them good, or the league was bad and they couldn't figure out, the other teams couldn't figure it out. Like, we can talk about how healthy the Kings were or anything else. Like, look, they worked really hard. They practiced hard. Their training staff was on top of them. They played through injuries. Like, I'm not going to say that the Kings were good because they had no injuries. Like, were they better because of that? Sure, that they had a lack of injury, but that they also had players who put in the work and didn't get injured because they were in good health, and because they put in, they ate right and they slept right and they were ready to play. Their focus was on basketball. And that's not always the case, not just in Sacramento, but in the NBA as a whole.
I'm kind of like with James in the sense I do like the parity in the NFL. One thing I really enjoy is, the 17 game schedule. There's no, Well, the season doesn't start until Thanksgiving. Like, that's not a thing in the NFL.
Hell, you go 0-1. Well, no team is
It's
started 0-2.
Yeah, you go 0-2, and I don't know how that number changes now that it's 17 games versus 16, but it's a lot like college football. Like every week, opening week, like, Clemson already lost. Like, there's some big boys that already lost. Like, that's going to linger with them. You can't avoid that for the entire year. It's not quite as dramatic in the NFL because the NFL is still results based. In college football, there's some stuff that's not necessarily results based, right? So that's a component to the NFL that I do appreciate.
I'd add
maybe my opinion though will change though if the Kings are now in a 10-year run of making the playoffs. Maybe I reserve the right to change my mind.
NBA is great.
It's
NBA is
fantastic.
I would add too, like what you're saying there, college football has that weird element that, like, we see the Colorado TCU thing, right? Like, TCU now is like hoping really deep down that they're going to be good, but also that Colorado's going to be good because that's the only way that they can climb back up.
You can make that loss look good.
Yeah, if Colorado ends up being just a dog and you got beat by like a big mouth guy running in, flapping his gums in week 1, and then he goes on to put up a 2-11 season or 2-10 season, then they're shot. Like, they understand that they're in a bunch of trouble. Yeah, it's weird that, like, I'm not a college football fan. Like, just the point spreads and everything else, like what we see, the one coach crying when the team's down like 81-0 this week, or he looks like he's about to cry. Like, who wants to watch that? Who wants that's not a sport. That's not.
We didn't talk about
I get emotional about this. I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
Stop crying, sir. Stop crying. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, take it on the chin.
Yeah. I'm all for emotion.
Also, what did you think was going to happen?
I'm all for emotion in most situations.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough one, though. Like, why would you even want to do that? But then again, I played at a high school football powerhouse. We did that to teams every single week, and it was brutal to be a part of. It wasn't fun. I think I've told you guys this story. We had a day game at Del Paso. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Del Paso Heights, right? Yeah, so we had a day game there because they didn't have lights. So you'd have to go play there for a Saturday day game. And September, October, it can still be 90-something degrees. And it was miserable. Their field was always dead. You're playing on dirt, and it was horrible. And we were up, I want to say, 49-0 right before halftime. And my coach, we scored with like maybe 60 seconds left in the half. My coach ran an onside kick, which why he would do that up 49-0, I'm not sure. Took a bad hop, went right to their guy who split right through us and ran for a touchdown. So now it's 49-7. We got 20 seconds left in the half. Ball at the 20-yard line after the kickoff. We run a hook and ladder for an 80-yard touchdown and go in 56-7. That's not fun. I don't know who had a good time. The starters had a really good time in the first half, and then, they pull everything back once everyone else gets to play. But I just felt bad for the other team the whole time, and that's what college football is. Like, every time. Like, half the games are 30-point, 40-point blowouts.
College football is great. You're missing.
You got to watch the right ones, though. Yeah. But Alfonso does make a good point here. KC hates coaches, especially crying coaches.
Well, this is not true.
Unless
this is not true.
He's the one crying.
Well, kids have been working so hard, man, and they played their little butts off, man, and just
that might have been what Willie Green was saying on the sidelines, and you've trashed him for 2 years.
Well, I shed a tear after the game, not in the third quarter.
Well, it wasn't the third quarter.
Willie, there's 15 minutes left in this game. Come on,
that's
coach.
That's not what happened.
Why are you crying?
That's not
Willie,
what
your team is up 3. Why are you crying?
That's not what happened. You guys need to stop this. That's not what happened.
This guy, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either. You need to stop it.
You got next week, sir. Game 1.
Hey,
season's not over.
James, you'll appreciate this. Your boy over here he won't say it, but he's trying to convince everyone without actually saying it that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs this year.
I'm just trying to have a
Come on
conversation.
now.
Trying to have
Come
a
on.
conversation.
They're missing pieces. There's no doubt about it. But man, your love for the Broncos and Chargers, the Chargers who you ruled out of the playoffs.
I don't have the Broncos winning the division. If I had to put money on it, I'd put your money on the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're gonna do it with my money. My money
let's
don't
just
go
take a
on
look
nothing.
at this. Like, man, okay.
As long as Patrick Mahomes gets 4,800 yards and 40 touchdowns, I don't care whether they make the playoffs or not.
Oh,
just care
okay.
about-
All right. This is why I hate fantasy football, because of that right there. This is why I hate fantasy football.
All I care about is that
17.
right there.
Did
James wants to take his Jordan picture with all of his fantasy football championship rings.
Did Brady ever miss the playoffs?
I mean,
Well,
like,
his
obviously he missed
team
the
did.
playoffs the year he was
got
hurt.
I feel like he did.
They were 11-5 and missed the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't think he did.
Missed it once without injury in 2002.
2002? Was that like his second year?
Yeah,
And we can't blame that on Drew Bledsoe. Like, wow.
It was 0-1. They won the Super Bowl. They didn't go back to back. I guess they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they ever won back-to-back Super Bowls. Or
We
maybe I'm
did-
thinking of the Spurs. The Spurs
definitely never won back.
Maybe
Oh,
that's
no.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. We did have our big fantasy football draft on Monday. And so me and my son, we bring out the rings and the Mahomes jerseys. And someone next to me, when my buddy Matt started talking trash, and I just aimed my rings at him and set them next to him.
Did you get any? What kind of pickups did you get?
Oh, we're pretty solid. We're pretty solid from top to bottom. Of course, we have Mahomes.
So
That's all that matters.
it's just that you're in, you call it a keeper leagues, but in it's one player that you keep or multiple?
You can keep up to 2, and then
Oh,
one defensive player, because we do.
Did you keep 2 or just Patrick Mahomes?
No, we kept Mahomes and we kept CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, okay.
It's a 12-man league. It would have been tough to get him a player that good on the way back.
Yeah. That's a good pickup. We'll come back. We'll go back to the NBA. There's a couple of things I want to ask James that we didn't really get to. Giannis is sneaky, making a lot of noise here lately. Not Giannis. There just seems to be a lot of noise around Giannis. So James will lay out how the Sacramento Kings can pick up Giannis Antetokounmpo when D'Lo and Casey return here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. Wait till he's gonna post a picture out by the beam. I'll be
post a picture at the little piglet.
Piglet.
Rabbit on Giannis' story.
Oh, whoa.
I've been missing I didn't see the Giannis stuff.
Yeah, he's not signing the extension.
Oh. Yeah, I did see him say something to the effect of he wants to make sure that everyone on that team is committed like he's committed and all that stuff. I don't know. Hi, Russell Hunt. It has been a long time since I've seen you. Hey, Alfonso Valdez, did you not listen on Friday? We had an entire 30-minute section on fantasy football, and we plan on
yes.
Yeah, we plan on doing fantasy Fridays with our guy Faraz Siddiqui. Did Kenny, did you see our show when we were talking about the Serbian national player that got elbowed in the kidney?
No.
Did you read the story?
No, what happened?
Okay,
I
so Serbia was playing South Sudan last week.
Mm-hmm.
Dude gets elbowed in the kidney. It was so bad that he had to go in for surgery.
Oh.
Surgery didn't go well. They had to go back in a couple of days later, and he lost his kidney.
Oh.
He lost his kidney playing in the World Cup.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So they won today, or this morning or whatever, and that was the big, like him saying, "Hey guys, I'm all right. Thanks for
I've
winning one
never
for
heard
me."
of that before. Like that's crazy.
I know. I don't even remember an NFL player losing their kidney.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy.
That reminds me of the story. I've told it before, but how I think it was Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez catches a ball on the sidelines and
Oh yeah.
runs into the cameraman, knocks him down, and he got like a concussion or something like that.
Mhm.
And that had him go to the doctor because he got a concussion. And he went to the doctor and they're like, "Hey, you got cancer."
Yeah, brain tumor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
he,
found a brain tumor on the MRI. Yeah.
yeah, and he would have never known that if that didn't happen. I think
Yeah.
they kind of took care of him. I don't think he's with us anymore, but I
Uh-uh.
think that they kind of treated that as well as they could for a while, and it saved his life for a little while.
I think it saved his life for a long time. Actually,
Yeah.
I think he went on to I think it was a good 10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, so Karis LeVert. Okay, so we were talking about this. There have been NBA players that have lost kidneys. Because you remember Sean Elliott and I believe Alonzo Mourning as well.
Yeah, I do remember.
So, but I'm almost positive both of those were due to like too many anti-inflammatories.
Yeah. Never heard it from that blunt trauma.
Yeah. But Damien, did you hear us talking about the Serbian national player who lost his kidney?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that on the show.
Yeah, it's just wild. We were just rehashing that for the good folks here.
Jesse told me Luka threw a temper tantrum.
Oh, he definitely just sat down on the court and I mean, it was standard Luka stuff. He was complaining because he got D'd up and locked down by Lou Dort. And then got tossed. And then they got bounced.
KC, you ever been D'd up?
No, sir, I have not.
You ain't ever played against Lou Dort.
I won't.
Nope.
No. Now I'm looking at clips. Am I reading this right? Dylan Brooks and Luka Doncic.
Oh yeah,
they were ejected.
And then Dylan Brooks had boxing gloves in the hallway.
Stop it! Stop it!
They weren't ejected on the same play though. Like Luka got ejected for disrespecting the ref, pretty much.
It's good to see that Luka's petulant behavior stretches to FIBA though. It's good to see that that's not acting like a giant child. It's good to see that that's not.
It's just what he does.
Exclusive to the NBA audience.
No.
It gets to be seen on the world stage.
It's just what he does.
He also looked very good. He looked very fit.
Well,
Skinny Luka.
He does look. Looking at this, he does. He looks thinner.
Luka's gonna be the same player he always is.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
He ain't gonna come back no better or worse for that matter. Like he gonna put up 29, 7 and 7, and whether he's skinny or fat.
Yeah, I do. Well, I do think him being lighter though is better for his health.
Absolutely.
I think he stumbled on some Billy Blanks tapes or something, maybe some P90X and
throwbacks.
What's he doing? What was that called? Tybo?
Tybo. Hey,
sir.
The other one is Insanity. You guys ever heard of Insanity with Sean T? That one go crazy.
I did that. Yeah, I've done that before.
I did that for 4 weeks or something like that. It's crazy.
All right.
Yeah, well, what's the biggest off season? We're a month less than a month away from camp.
Well, from camp, I saw yesterday it was 49 days till opening night.
Wow. Okay. Oof. What's the biggest story still out there? Dame, James.
Yeah, it's Dame.
Is this not a story getting? Well, I I don't think so, but I feel like Harden will also try to make himself the center of attention the best he can moving forward.
That is a story, though, because everybody wants to see how he's gonna.
Is it a story because it's Philadelphia?
Because it's Philadelphia, and we may not like this, but because it's James Harden. James Harden's he's still a star. He's got name recognition.
An all-star.
I think it's a story because it's the offseason. If not, I don't think many people would care. Like, I don't know. Like, NBA drama is fun. That's what we all love, the NBA drama. It's what drives everything. But like, I just don't think he's that impactful or interesting.
If this story happened during the season, you don't think it'd be as big of a deal?
Maybe, but again, like, we're talking about a guy on the decline of his career. We're not talking about, a guy who's still at the pinnacle. Even, Damian Lillard, you can still say, is at the pinnacle. I mean, his last season was phenomenal, and he's holding on at a certain level. Whether he reaches, that height again, we have no idea. But like, I don't think James Harden is still on the climb.
Oh, he's definitely not on the climb.
No, he's not on the climb. But he's still a notable player in this league. Maybe star. No, I'd say he's a star.
Okay. You could call him a star. It's going to be weird next year when 30 teams decide they don't want to sign that star.
It's like, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'd still say Russell Westbrook is a star. And I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but Russell's on maybe the same place in his career as James is, but I still think Russell's a star.
You know what's crazy to think of? Like, we're probably 3 to 4 years away from most of these guys being out of the league. Like, whether it's LeBron, Steph, Dame would be at like 4 years. Dame is going to be at the end. Like, so many of the guys that, Kevin Durant, like, that we've come to know as like the superstar class of this generation, a lot of them are gone, will be gone. I mean, Westbrook might play till he's 50 just because he can, because Damian will still have his back.
Just facts. I will. Russ, until he does something that changes my opinion on him, Russ is going to be my favorite player. I don't care if that dude plays 2 minutes a game. He's going to be my favorite basketball player. I love everything about Russell Westbrook. I ride with that dude. Just like I hate everything about James Harden. I don't know what his career is going to look like next year, because he's not coming off a bad season. I don't.
Oh, James?
Yeah.
No, he didn't have a bad season last year.
So I don't know what that looks like for him next year, especially after all of that. Again, it's not even about seasons in basketball. Like, bro, you've quit. You quit on Houston, you quit on Brooklyn, and now you're pissed at Philadelphia. Who signs up for that to the tune of $100 million? My guess is absolutely no one.
Not me.
1 year deal for James Harden for the rest of his career.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could see the team LeBron go ahead. Like, they think that they can solve anybody.
No,
they showed that again today.
I disagree because I think LeBron would be like, we ain't doing that. Bro, you're not. I'm 40. You're not quitting on me when I'm 40. Nah, man, I'm cool.
You're not hanging a fat suit on.
Yeah,
your
you ain't
Instagram
gonna do that
feed.
to me. Yeah, you ain't gonna do that to me. Absolutely not.
James Harden, last season, 21 points, 10 assists.
Led the league, right?
I don't know if he ended up. Did he end up leading the league?
I think so.
He might have.
I won't say that definitively.
And I'm not like I don't think Harden is this great basketball player anymore. And I don't want him on the team, right? I mean, that's still 21 and 10. That's still pretty good to go along with 6 rebounds
on a team that finished 3rd,
3 seed. Yeah, and they had
a second best. Yeah,
they had a moment where they were cooking in the season, and they weren't able to sustain it.
No, it's James Harden.
Yeah.
It's James Harden. That's what he does.
Yeah.
which is why the Dame Lillard thing is a significantly bigger deal here this final month. But these are two trade requests / demands that are in limbo here with weeks. Like, what does Dame just show up to camp in 3 weeks? Does he just show up in Portland? Like, thanks for trying, guys. I don't know how you rectify that. I don't think Harden does. Though watching the reporting on Harden is getting really, really weird. But I don't think Harden shows up in Philly. But what's Dame do?
I think he shows up. Like there is a certain amount of respect that he has for the franchise that has been his franchise for the last, 12, 13 years. Like I do believe that like he will do right. He'll do what he has to do to make amends until they find a spot for him to go. But I also don't think that this is where he wants to be. It's not where, like, that would be a really, really rough situation. And I think he would get booed. I think the fans in Portland, I don't think that they're going to appreciate this whole situation. Like, I know Sacramento Kings fans would boo him if this was the same situation, but I don't know. Maybe they won't.
I don't think they're going to boo Dame. If for whatever reason this doesn't get dealt with to Dame's liking, and he shows up in Portland, I don't think that crowd's going to boo him. I don't know how they're going to react to. I don't. Maybe it's I don't think they're going to. I don't want to go say it's a rousing ovation. They're going to blow the roof off. I don't know that they're going to do that. I just don't think they're going to boo him.
You may be right.
Maybe I'm thinking.
No, you may be right.
I don't know.
I'm
Portland.
just looking at it from
I don't know y'all like that.
I'm looking at it from Portland's perspective. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you keeping that?
I also didn't think they were going to boo Buddy every possession. So what the hell do I know?
If I'm Portland, though, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing having Dame Lillard show up to camp, playing games? Like, for what?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want to be there. You're moving in a different direction as a franchise. Why are you moving on with this charade? Hell, what if he sprains an ankle or, even worse? Because you're messing around saying, nope, we're not trading him. We want him to be part of his future. No, you don't.
Yeah, but maybe they can't trade him. Like maybe they literally are looking at Miami like, dude, we can't do this. We can't do this deal. We can't.
And what I would do,
we act like this is so simple sometimes.
What I would do is I would keep him home. And
if you're Portland, you'd keep Dame home.
I'd say, Dame, we're working on a trade.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I didn't like it when Houston did it to Carmelo Anthony. I wouldn't like it if Portland did it to Dame Lillard.
No, not even out of spite. But like, Dame, we're working on a trade. We don't need you getting.
But are you?
Yeah, and you first when Miami starts 3-7, they may change their tune.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a team that didn't do well all season long last year, and then made it all the way.
They just lost their starting point guard.
Yeah,
good.
Look,
a couple pieces.
I don't know what's going to happen with that whole situation, but I would, if I'm Portland and he's still there and you haven't made the move yet, you at least bring him into camp and you have him around Scoot Henderson, because he's not going to be hey, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. He's going to be like, look, I tried my best to get us there. I couldn't get us there. I want to go play for a winner. You guys are in a different spot, a different position, and who and what you are as a franchise and a team. And that goes from each player too. Like, he's not going to hold anything against Scoot Henderson. He's going to sit there and support him and probably do a good job of teaching him how to be a leader until he's not there. And then, because I don't think anyone expects him to be there, but isn't he on a contract for another 3 years? Like, this isn't like a short thing.
4 years. Yeah. Him and he's got some years left.
This is the take you won't hear often. Shout out to Lazy Heat fan. Blazers have Scoot, Anthony, and Shaden. They have 3 young core pieces. Stop being greedy, Portland.
Lazy, sit down. Stop it. Stop being greedy.
You take your Tyler Hero and shut up. That's what he's saying. He's telling the Blazers,
Stop being
you take
greedy.
Tyler Hero and you shut up.
You got one of the best shooting guards the game's ever seen with 4 years on his contract. And Leezy said, stop being greedy, sir.
Yeah. That
Knocked
you should have been more Leezy should have been more greedy when he was making that trade he made last week. He gave up what did he give? And he got AJ Brown and he traded away Niners running back.
Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey.
He
Yeah.
was hitting you up for fantasy football advice?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he was trying to get us to judge the trade he'd already pulled off. It was like, bro, what are you doing? What have you done? McCaffrey. Yeah, my bad.
Shout out to the insiders, Fantasy Friday, which
Fantasy Friday.
I think has something to do with football.
Yeah.
Can be heard. I am not a fantasy football guy, but I had the longest drive in history on Friday, and I listened to virtually the entire show with James and Kyle, and I thought that fantasy segment was super interesting.
Oh, it was fun. He's really good. For us, yeah, he's really good. I don't know that I used a lot of his stuff in my fantasy draft, but
Yeah.
I do like, sort of where he was coming from.
Leezy, Jesse said Leezy got jumped in the chat.
Oh,
he did.
Bro, Lizzie got jumped in the chat and by the fantasy guest.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we flamed him on the air. He got his trade went to the expert, and the expert's like, "Wait, what?"
Wait a minute, Lizzie in the chat, man. What did he say? It was McCaffrey for AJ Brown, and Jalen Hurts is his QB.
Now he's expanded the trade. Like he's telling us now the trade is bigger than that. That's not what we saw. Like the day one, the trade was straight up. And it's like, oh no. Yeah.
Poor Leezy.
Poor Leezy.
Sorry to our brother Leezy. That's tough. Well, those I think will be two of the biggest stories that we follow moving forward. But man, it feels like this Giannis thing is starting to gain a little more traction than it should. And I don't think Giannis is the last. Giannis is going to be the most important. Giannis's extension eligible, I believe the date was September 22nd. I guess someone asked him if he's going to sign, and he said no. Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, by the end of September, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George will be extension eligible. I know one extension hasn't been extended. I'm guessing by the end of September, both extensions won't be extended. And the Clippers are going to be another really interesting team to watch, especially if you've been following the Ty Lue situation. That team could be completely wiped out by February.
Not wrong.
Though, there's a difference with a team like the Clippers, right? The Clippers have so much money backing them that I don't think Ballmer is going to ever believe in a reboot. And so what he's going to do is he's going to pay for the most expensive players he can possibly get. And that's where, like, we have all these folks out there like, oh, who are the Kings bidding against with Domantas Sabonis? I don't know. Maybe the Clippers, where Sabonis it sets up shop in the summer, or used to set up shop in the summer in LA. Yeah. Why would you think that you couldn't try to convince him to come over and sign with you if you have a whole bunch of cap space? So, like, I think you're always, with a team like the Clippers, you're always going to be worried that they have unlimited pockets. Like there is no bottom to the pockets, and they're going to spend. So yeah, I would be surprised if they don't try to extend at least one of those guys, but I don't know. If not, it will make for a very interesting season, because those are some pretty nice rentals that you might get your hands on.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've always thought about was my main man, Paul George, coming to Sacramento. I don't even want to begin to think about what a trade would look like in that situation, but PG in Sacramento. Come on now. It's my boy, Paul George.
You'd be losing a lot.
You'd
be losing a lot.
Yeah. Once picked him to win the MVP. I think it was last season.
It was last season.
way back in '06. You picked him to win. Wait, no, it was last season.
Oh, boy, PG.
It's still, I mean, until those guys are gone, that's still an intriguing team to watch to me.
Absolutely.
I think that roster is really solid. It's just a matter of, are they playing? Are they healthy? Ty Lue said they're healthy right now. And I think that was a bit of a question. Were they all going to be healthy going? I say all, two of them. Were they going to be healthy going into training camp? Ty Lue said they are. There's allegedly been conversations about taking the regular season more seriously. Okay. I think I think the biggest thing we learned, like Kawhi got hurt last year.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. Like, dude load managed all year. And I understand that's kind of that's been his thing since whatever happened in San Antonio happened. But to do all of that and still get hurt, I don't know. Like, hey, Kawhi, like we tried it your way, bro. Yeah. It didn't work. We got to win some games here.
Yeah.
Also, we're opening $1 billion arena in a year or two. Like, we need to get cooking. Multi-billion-dollar arena.
Yeah, you could see the Clippers going all in on like a really high level youth movement, like not messing around so much with draft picks as much as going all in and finding young guys who, buying them out of contracts, like, really pushing the envelope on how you can acquire players.
Yeah.
So
I think this will be one of those James Harden, Oklahoma City, Serge Ibaka things. Would the Clippers have been, well, I've always been of the belief Kawhi Leonard was going to the Clippers whether Paul George did or not. That's my opinion.
I feel the same.
People would refute that. My opinion is Kawhi used his leverage to get Paul George. But play along for a minute. Okay. Kawhi Leonard with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in Los Angeles. Is that a better look than Kawhi Leonard with Paul George?
With what we know now of SGA, yeah.
It feels like there are people in the Clippers organization, including Doc, who knew it then.
I think Jerry West said it too.
I think he did. I don't remember. It hasn't hit winning time yet. So until it hits winning time, I'm not sure. But by the way, did you see that clip I retweeted yesterday? The clip of the Jerry West press conference?
Oh, the real one?
The real one?
Yeah,
with the Pat, right? Like it was bar, as Jesse likes to say, bar for bar.
That's crazy.
That's why winning time is so good.
Like
James,
that,
are you watching Winning Time?
I haven't watched it. I'm waiting for the sequel, Losing Time, which is the Clippers organization.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, there's that.
I called for a shot at the Clippers. But watching it on the show, it's like, nah, that's too crazy.
It's too awkward. I love when it flashes on the screen. Yes, this really happened. And then someone found the clip of the press conference and him introducing Jerry West as like the co-head coach and Jerry West coming up going, yeah, I just want to be clear. Pat Riley's the coach. I'm here. Even the guys shouting, work for or work with? To work with and hopefully work for. Oh, what a cluster. Oh, my gosh. Those early Jerry Buss years look a lot like the Los Angeles Clippers.
Man.
Just a mess.
That show is fire.
This show is
that
so
show
good.
is the best.
Show is so
that might
good.
be the best.
James, you gotta
show
watch
I've ever
it.
seen.
You gotta watch it.
I'll watch it. It's like
you
a
gotta,
crazy
you gotta watch
docudrama.
it with the idea
they'll turn up the volume.
It's based on reality, but it's not real. You just watch it like that, and that show is just entertaining as hell.
All right. I'll watch it. I'll put it on my list. My list is
the
long.
difference between James's list, like James actually watched the shows that he says he's
too.
going to watch.
What you talking about?
You do not.
I haven't watched The Office before.
You've watched one. You've watched like 4 episodes, and since watching the basketball episode, you watched a half going to pick up food, and then claim that you watched The Office. Stop it!
Don't do that.
If James can go
It
back
was
and
way
watch
less
Snowfall.
than a half.
Okay.
If James can go back and watch Snowfall, you can do The Office.
Dude, James is watching Snowfall for
I'm
God's
watching
sake.
Snowfall too.
Yeah.
You
I probably could watch.
I caught up with Tommy.
Yeah.
You just started watching. Okay, I'm not fighting with you,
caught up with
bro.
Tommy.
We've got 2 more hours together. I'm not trying to fight with you right now. You just started watching Tommy the day before last.
I had to get caught up because the new season's out.
You were supposed to watch Snowfall like a year ago.
I did start watching Snowfall.
And where are you at now?
I'm somewhere in the
Have you
first
gotten
season.
to the Tiger in South Central?
far
Because
from that.
until you get to the Tiger in South Central.
Sounds like I'm far from that.
Our Kings Insider, the Kings Beat, and of course, the host of the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Matson, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. here on ESPN 1320. Our man, James Ham. We appreciate you as always. Hit the thumbs up before you go. If you want to win some tickets to the Straight to the Club tour with Tiger, YG, and Sweetie, head over to 102.5. That's where Kenny and I are going. But if you want more sports coverage, don't go anywhere. It was an eventful day here. We'll run it back next on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Vamos, Nick Bosa.